Rolling.
Drop the music.
What music? We don't have music. What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 2 of Menace and the Man.
Heard that.
We're back. We haven't been kicked off the air yet, so
Guess who's back? Back again. Menace back. Tell a friend. Guess who back? Guess who back? Guess who back? I should have been a rapper.
we're making it a habit to be scrambling to get in studio before every show, so I'm a little bit out of breath at the moment. You know, I'm not in the same shape I used to be.
Yeah, he's 230 pounds.
I might be 220 right now.
No, you're lying to yourself.
Nah, my mom was saying I look a little slimmer right now.
Yeah, she wants you to feel good about yourself.
Maybe.
That's what moms do. Like, that's my baby. I love him so much. I want him to be happy. She's gonna tell you, like, yes, Dad, you look like a fat piece of shit.
Nah, she would shoot me straight. She told me I got a bad haircut. That my haircut wasn't that good
Yeah, that
today.
shit is fucking
It's
trash.
No, it's not too bad. If I had gel in it, it'd be all right.
Nah. You're lying to yourself again.
Bro, don't make me insecure. I got to put the hat on.
Yeah.
All right, I got to put the hat on. I can't have Dennis making fun of me the whole show.
Nah, leave it off. I want to keep it. I'm on fire right now.
No. I'm not giving you that type of material. All right, so what's going on? UFC 230 this weekend.
Heard that.
You going?
I don't know yet. Maybe. I mean, I've just...
When do you make the decision for something like that? Last minute? I'm usually a last minute guy. I'm actually...
Yeah. I have tickets, like, beforehand, you know what I mean? It might be too late now for me to get tickets.
No.
But I know a couple people.
Yeah.
I know a couple people. You know?
Definitely ain't too late for Dennis the Menace to get some tickets, especially in New York.
But the thing is like, hey, Stan, like, you're a carpenter. Like, you want to go watch someone, like, do carpentry?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I get what you mean.
Like, I do it all, you know? I do it every day.
Some of your friends, though, are fighting. Some people you know.
Yeah.
A teammate, Brian Kelleher. He's repping Long Island MMA now, so...
Yeah, now you're making me feel like a bad person.
No. I mean, it's... I'm one of those people. Like, I actually would rather watch fights live at home. Like, I want to watch fights at home. I think you get a much better angle when you watch it on TV.
Yeah, I'm not trying to drink as much, and if I go there, it's going to be like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, there's a bear shit in the woods? Like, yeah, I want a beer.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm going to drink it, and it's gone, and I'm like, you want another one? I'm like, yeah. And then this is a cycle that just keeps happening for the whole time I'm there.
Hey,
And then I'm leaving there. And
I
fans,
hear you. I'm getting lit. I'm probably getting lit tomorrow night at CES.
I'm there, and then fans are like, Dennis. I'm like, yeah. Like, will you double like me? I'm like, yes, I will.
Those are the type of fans you meet? I remember our friend Steve that you met that time. Steve was like, kick me in the leg. Like, he meets fans like that are like, you know, you just go, you fight, you're a professional fighter. Hit me. Just hit me with a leg kick.
I definitely don't think about the consequences of like, hey, man, can you punch me? Like, yes, I can. And I will.
Why, you've hit a lot of fans?
I remember I was home in Saugerties, New York, and I was at a bar, and this dude's like, yo, can you just knock me out? I'm like, whoa, easy, guy, you know? He's like, I just want to say I got knocked out by a UFC fighter. I'm like, well, I don't fight for free. He's like, I'll give you $50. I was like, 100?
Oh, so $50. $50 sealed the deal?
No, I said 100?
Oh, we got our first caller coming in right now. Tito.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, my man? Thank you for joining us. You're with Stan the Man and Dennis Bermudez.
What's up, Tito?
What's up, guys? What's up, Dennis?
What's up, bro? Woo!
I don't just actually getting home from one of my businesses. Every Thursday, I got to do wholesale car business. I do auctions, so Thursday are my half days, and I just got home and take a little break, then I get hit the gym.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us in this little break right now. Have you trained yet today, or you went right to work today?
Oh, no, I woke up at 6 this morning, and I worked from 7 until about 12 o'clock.
So you got your hands in a few things right now. Are you still managing fighters?
Yeah, Primetime 360. Yes, we are. Of course, you guys seen Don Madgen, who just won by knockout this last weekend.
Yeah. I saw that guy. That guy's getting a lot of hype right now as well. He looked good.
Yeah, man, he's a beast, man. He when we first signed him, we had him come out and train at Ruka with Jason Perillo. Perillo this kid hits like a ton of bricks, and he sparred with Dos Anjos, and he held his own, which I was really proud of him. His wrestling skills. I asked him, well, you wrestled before? He's all, no, we just do it in South Africa. It was just what we watch on TV. So I was like, God, this kid's really, really tough. But he got his opportunity in UFC and won by knockout, which is great.
Yeah, for me being a fighter, I look up to fighters that not just their fighting style, but what they're doing with their name and stuff like that outside of fighting. So I mean, you're one of those guys that's, the hustle's real, like the grind is real, and I really admire that. I'm like, man, I got to take some notes. We'll have to meet up and I'll get the pen and paper out.
It's just one of those things you just learn in life. Back in '05 when I worked for Donald Trump on The Celebrity Apprentice. I was always on his shoulder asking questions, business questions, asking. How do you become a billionaire? He's like, well, to stay a millionaire, you got to have 5 sources of income coming in every year. And, I'm on source number 3 right now. So with this De La Hoya promotion starting up, this will be number 4. And if my acting stuff continues on, that could be number 5. But it's just, I got to stay busy. I got to keep hustling, and I got to keep grinding, make sure I get the most out of this life.
Now, are you trying to hustle just because that's the kind of guy you are? You have a little ADD and you just need, or you're just trying to get rich. You're just trying, get the most bang for your buck, or you just need to be occupied. That's the kind of guy you are.
I think
or a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I was poor as a kid. I know what dirt tastes like. I know what living in a motel feels like, and my children will never see what I seen as a kid, and it just shows the hard work that I put in, and I want to show my kids what hard work and dedication is truly about.
How many kids do you have now? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
How many kids do you have now?
I have 3 boys. I have Jacob, who's 16, and then I have Jesse and Journey, who are 9.
Because I've got 2 little guys. I got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
You guys got to link up. You guys got a basketball team right there.
We do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, not a wrestling team.
half wrestling squad.
So now you're jumping back in. Are you excited for this opportunity now to get this next crack at Chuck Liddell to get those 2 losses back?
You know what? That's what it is. It's a great opportunity.
I was going to say that's what you're jumping at, is a chance to fight him again.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done it for anybody else. He said some things about me, and then he was like, "Yeah, let's see if Tito would even show up." Well, this was 6 months ago, and, the last 13 weeks, actually 14 weeks tomorrow, I've been putting in grind, 6 days a week, 3 times a day, and I've been focused. I've been really focused, and I have an opportunity for redemption. I'm not going to leave anything behind. I'm going to make sure that I'm training with the right guys, I'm wrestling with the right guys, sparring with the right guys, doing the right things for strength conditioning, my cardio, and, of course, my nutrition is really important. I mean, everything I've been doing has been right on target of where I need to be.
Are you still out there with Perillo? Huntington Beach?
Yes, training with Perillo. Of course, my old wrestling partner, Rafael Davis, who wrestled at Cal State Bakersfield, who took 5th in the nation, and Scott Carr, with my jiu-jitsu. A few of the younger guys are coming up. Herdine, who fights for LFA, and another kid, Moses, who fights for LFA, are my sparring partners. And these are younger guys. I'm not sparring with older guys. It's sort of younger guys who are faster, and sometimes they get the better of me, sometimes they get the better of them. But that's just sparring. That's great training partners, and they're future champions.
So I've been in the UFC now for 7 years. But I watched you when I was in high school, and I was like, man, this guy is an animal.
That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get Tito on. Tito is a pioneer.
Yeah.
Like when Zuffa first came around, Tito was the guy. Like you're probably the first guy to get into a fight. I was going to say, you're probably the first guy to get into a dispute with Dana White over contracts, right?
I was just fighting for the same thing he was fighting for me when he was my manager against Bob Meyerowitz with the first owners of the UFC. I was just replicating exactly what he taught me, and he didn't like it because it was, 2 pit bulls in the same room, and it was business. And we get along now, but back then it was just we're both businessmen. He was trying to defend his business. I was trying to defend my business of Tito Ortiz. That was just something that I understood, and we butted heads a lot of times. But a lot of times he ended up giving in, and I was thankful, for him and Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta. They gave me a lot through my career of 16 years with the UFC. Yeah,
that's a long time, man. Where I was going with the question before Stan butted in.
Oh, I just wanted to say what a pioneer Tito is.
Was like, like I said, I've been in the UFC for 7 years now, and it's like the same spot, same people, and just like the motivation dies. And I'm looking for like this is the motivation corner right now. Tito, how do you keep it moving? Like, do you change gyms? Do you change up stuff, or it just never got old for you?
I think it's a little bit of both. I did change gyms, but it never really got old for me just because I was so competitive. I love to compete. I like to be out of shape and to put myself in shape and just see the transformation of it. And, I really never got out of shape over the last 21 years of competition. The longest time I've ever taken off was after the Chael fight. I took one completely year off, and that was the first time in my career that I've ever taken one whole year off where I never went in the gym or anything. But I think to have that motivation after a fight's over is really just taking 1 month off. Don't go to the gym. Don't watch fights. Don't talk about fighting. Don't just literally decompress your mind completely. And I know you like to fish, so that's one way to get to it. Just go out and go fishing as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, after my last fight, I mean, I've had 3 split decisions not in my favor. I was like, man, what the... I mean, I beat one guy in strikes, and he takes me down twice to my 1. And the other guy, he beats me by 4 strikes, but I take him down 6 times, and I'm still losing. I'm like, dude, what is going on? And I was like, I think I'm done. I think I'm hanging up the gloves. I sat... at my house a little, I was just doing like a little bit here and there, just a little run, something like that, just to stay active. And I was like, I think I'm hanging up the gloves. And being, not doing anything for 2 months, I was like, no, that ain't you, Menace. You're coming back. You can do this. I watched my one buddy, Chris Wade, fight for that $1 million tournament and lose in the
PFL
semis, the PFL. And I was like, man, I got something for that guy. Like, I'll beat that guy. I can still do this,
Well, how old are you?
31.
See, you're young, man. I'm 43, and I mean, I've been in this business for 21 years, and all the surgeries I've had, I can't believe I'm still doing it, but it's just the grind. I love it. I love getting up and having to do the 3 days. I mean, it's just something that's in my mind, something that's in my heart, and when you love to do it, it's just a passion. But once again, I mean, financial side of it is really important. Making sure you're making the right financial moves, and of course, it comes down to management and so forth. But at the end of the day, you got to be happy. You got to be happy with what you're doing in the gym, and the people you're training with are only as good as you are. And that's what I've always learned from my career.
Yeah, I'm definitely switching it up this time and just doing things I like doing. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes going in there and going against Gregor Gillespie, who holds me down for 4 minutes out of the 5 minutes, is like, fuck, man, like. Just a complete exhaustion, which I do like that after it's done. But while I'm in it, I'm like, this is,
No.
Well, Tito, you're still having fun in the gym, right?
Yeah,
that's what it is. You got to keep having fun. Once you stop having fun and it becomes a job, or the weight cut is too much, then it becomes, you lose the joy.
The weight cut is a big thing. If you're able to master it. I mean, I started cutting weight when I was a sophomore in high school, and I really learned how to do it when I was in college. But I really learned how to do it was after I lost the world title, and I got too skinny when I fought Randy Couture. I was walking around about 213. I had to make 205. I should have been a lot heavier, and I didn't. I didn't understand the weight cut exactly. But now it's so perfect where I cut 20 pounds, and 5 hours later, I'm 20 pounds right back on, and I'm not exhausted. I'm not tired. And it goes to the nutrition side of it. I'm making sure I'm eating the right stuff. I'm not having nutrition come in and do it for me, because that just shows laziness. That shows that I don't want to do it. I got to do it myself by making these sacrifices, by eating the right things to know what my body likes, because everybody's body is completely different than one another. But you got to make the right things to make your body work the right way.
And that's another thing too. When you're cooking for yourself, you start learning some little tricks. You can also pick up some chicks with it. Like, hey, babe, come over. I cook you a little meal.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa, he can cook too, and he's strong and handsome.
Yeah, no, that helped me out a lot. Let me tell you.
Yes, I am, baby.
Now, I think I cooked for her for the first 6 months we were together, and she just couldn't believe how good I could cook. But that's one of those things my grandma taught me. She said you got to make sure you learn how to cook, because you never know when you're going to be alone.
Yeah, that's right, man.
So now I'm looking at this upcoming fight with you and Liddell. Is this going to be at 205, or are you guys going to fight this one at heavyweight?
No, this is at 205. Like I say, I walk around right now about 225. I'll have no problem at all making the weight at 205. Actually, it'll be 206 because they give a 1 pound weight allowance for California Athletic Commission. But it won't be a problem at all. I mean, I've fought 205 pounds my whole career. Besides when I was the middleweight world champion, it used to be 199 before they made my weight class of 205. Because of me, they asked me what would be the perfect weight. And I said 205 would be perfect. But I've never missed a weight. I've always been on a weight every single time, and this fight won't be any different.
Now, is that promotion on something now? Do you think they can pick up some steam with this? Are they paying their
I
fighters the
hope
right
so.
way?
Well, this is an opportunity to actually to give back to the fighters. De La Hoya says, all I want is 40%, and you guys can keep the rest.
Should I tweet De
Literally.
La Hoya and be like, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about
Hey,
coming over."
hey, you got my number, man.
All
Talk to
right,
me.
all
I mean,
right.
I'm part of the business. This is
Oh,
So
he
De
wants
La,
us to become partners, man, and that's what it's about. Is about giving back to the fighters. I mean, I'm a fighter, and I've always wanted to give back to fighters. I never had an opportunity or a platform to give back to fighters because I've always been kind of cut off right off the very beginning. And now there's an opportunity to work with De La Hoya. He's a fighter, and he wants to give back to fighters that he's done through boxing with Canelo. I mean, many boxers. Now I'm getting an MMA, and he wants to bring me along with him. So maybe I'm able to give back to all the MMA guys to start making a piece of the pie. You make a piece of the pay-per-view, you make a piece of the gate, you make a piece of the sponsorship, and you're not really controlled by only having one sponsor through your whole career or through all your fights. You're able to
yeah.
go out and get those sponsors.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm not bad mouthing UFC. I mean, they've fed me and my family for the last 7 years, and I haven't had to
Yeah,
work a normal
100%.
job. So I mean, I'm very thankful for that.
I
I'm
think
not.
all
And
fighters
what-
love the idea of an open market.
UFC do give a lot to fighters. I'm not trying to take any fighters from UFC at all.
Yeah.
If they're with UFC and they're happy and they're doing great, congratulations, keep doing it. But there is so many fighters out there. I want to give those guys an opportunity. I give those guys an opportunity to build their brand, to build their names, to be big household names, but at the same time to make great money. Watch a lot of these guys, a lot of these boxers who are making 15, 20, 30 million a fight. And you're like, why? It's because they're being cut in as a partner of the event in general. And I think that's what I want to try to change the game by doing that. And with Oscar De La Hoya behind me doing that, I think this could happen.
Because I mean, the money I'm making, I'm happy with, But then I look at NBA players, and I look at NHL players and NFL players. I'm like, man, and Tito, I think you could agree with me. I don't think they work harder than us.
No.
There's nobody in the world, and I don't care who they are, there's nobody in the world that works harder than us. No way. There's not a lonelier sport in the world than mixed martial arts. Because we're the ones that go out there to have to compete against another man by ourselves.
Yeah.
We got to get up and we got to train. We got to eat right. We got to train. We got to lift. We got to run. You got to cut the weight. And you're all doing this by yourself. And when you go to bed at night and you're laying in bed, you don't have a team to back you up. Yeah, there's a team that supports you and helps you get ready for the fight. But when it's fight time, it's you alone. So that's what makes the individual.
Yeah.
It makes it so lonely. I mean, you can never doubt yourself. And you can never question yourself. Because when you do that, you already lost the fight.
Yeah, I actually had a dispute with my manager going back a while ago. Is my first bonus performance of the night bonus or whatever, and he was like, "Yep, that's I get 20% of everything." I was like, "Whoa.
No.
You did not go in there and negotiate that I went out there and put my fucking shit on the line and got blasted in the face and got fight of the night. Like, you had nothing to do with that, dude." You had nothing to do with that. I mean,
and with our company, Primetime 360, my partner George Frazier, we actually had that with Don Madge, actually. So he got the fight of the night, and we didn't want anything of it. We're like, you worked your butt off to get that. You put on the show. You deserve 100% of that. I mean, that's the type of stuff that we want to be transparent as management. We're not trying to make money over them. We're not trying to make money on the back end. We're really cut line and sinker exactly what it's supposed to be during the contract, and that's how we manage the right way. Because I'm a fighter. I know what it takes to get in the cage. I know what it takes to get into camp month after month after month. It's brutal. And George Frazier, he already comes from money, so he's not doing this to make money. He's doing this to make it a better sport. And that's why I've been a partner with him now for, almost 9-10 years now. So it's just a great opportunity to give back to fighters. That's how we started Primetime 360.
And I do think that eventually fighters will be, like in the UFC or whatever organization, will be making, I like to say, NFL money. But because the sport is still pretty young, you know what I'm saying? So how much time do you think it needs still for it to get? I mean, with Conor coming in, Ronda Rousey, they did a great job of, hey, I want this, and this is what I'm bringing in, and getting paid that number. But then there's other people that are like, well, it's your first fight in the UFC, you're getting $8,000 and $8,000. Which I think that is...
A lot of it comes down to building the brand of yourself, going outside of not just doing the promotion in general for your fight, but building your brand by going out and working with the troops, working with charities, working with schools and kids. I mean, giving back just as a human being. I think that really brings the following that people love you. They end up going, either they love you or they hate you. They hate you because you talk smack about the guy you're fighting against, or they love you because you're a guy who gives back and a guy who goes out there and gives your heart and soul in the cage and to literally entertain millions of fans. And that's what they love. Either you get knocked out or you knock them out. And that's the way it should be. I mean, you got to put your heart on your sleeve. And that's what I've always done through my whole career.
Oh yeah, you've always been that guy, Tito. Definitely a guy who goes in and you can tell that like you're very invested in your performance, your career. Like you're putting your emotion in there when you get in that cage. Like even if I'm not saying you're fighting emotionally, but like you could tell you put your all into fighting just by how you react, win or lose. You could tell that Tito Ortiz is not in there playing around.
No, it is my heart and soul. I go out there and, I haven't had a bad experience, but I'm out there fighting for my fans, for my family, and, just for my integrity and my character. I go out there and put it on the line every single time. Like I say, either I win, I lose, or I get a draw. But I'm going out there to entertain as soon as my music goes on until the fight's over. I'm going out and I'm putting on a show no matter what.
Yeah, I get that. Like, you try and get on the boat and start. No, man, I'm just trying to go, like, ding, ding, ding. Like, I'm trying to survive out there, and it's kill or be killed.
Exactly. A lot of people understand that, like, you go out there and fight. Are you thinking about the money? It's like, hell no. Me forget about the money as soon as I make weight. As soon as I make weight, I already made the money. That's done.
Right.
Now it's time for me to perform. Right. I go out there and all I think about is winning and dominating and hurting this guy because he's trying to do the same thing to me. Right. It's not about the money.
Right.
I mean, I get paid for camps. I get paid for a 12-week session or a 9-week session, or in this case, a 16-week session of training. And making the weight. I get paid for that. I fight for free. That's just the way I am.
What are your thoughts?
Why I keep my mentality going.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on fight to win, and then showing up to fight?
Well, I mean, that's something that was great that made my mindset change completely. Was a lot of guys have that where they get a show up fee, they get their money to show up, and then if they win, they get another fee. I never understood that. It's like, if I'm going out there to fight, I'm going out there to fight to win.
Right.
Why would I have to get another 50% of if I won? I'm going to have to win no matter what. And you're using my name to sell this brand or sell your guys' the fight in general. So it should be no matter what, I should make this amount. And this is something that we've actually been able to do with our management company, is to adapt that with our fighters. And yes, it takes a little bit of challenge, and the guys got to win fights and to show that they're going out and giving their all. But at the same time, you're able to show the promoter that you're going out to win the fight no matter what. And you're going to put on a show, win, lose, or draw.
Because I've got, obviously UFC buddies, and we've talked about this. Because when I sign a contract, I'm not like, well, if I lose, I'm going to get... Like, I'm signing that contract because I'm going to win. If I don't think I could win, I'm not taking the fight. Well, yeah, because I think I could beat everybody in the world. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when I sign that contract, it's like, all right, I'm making, X amount, But when you don't, because one judge is like, Larry over there, like, you don't even know anything about fighting,
You're someone's brother. You got this job because you didn't have a job.
I lost $50,000 because you don't know what you're watching, Yeah. And I don't think anybody that fights in the UFC or any organization is like, you know what? I'll take X amount of dollars to lay down and lose. And if you are, you'll lose 3 times and then you're out, or you lose twice and you're out. That's it. Like, you won't last long if you're going in there just to collect a check. Whether it's
exactly, And I don't think there's. I mean, at least in mixed martial arts, or in MMA, there is no fighters that go out there to collect a check. In my mind, I've never thought like that. I never thought like I'm gonna go out there just to collect a check. Hell no, my name's on the line. I'm going out there to get my hand raised, no matter what, whatever it takes. I mean, and I've always had that mentality, and I know a lot of other fighters are exactly the same way. So I don't know. I guess there's a catch-22 for a promoter to have the 50-50 deal. But as a fighter, I think it should be 100%. If you can show your marketing side of it and you can show that you can sell a fight, that you should make your upfront money no matter what, and just go out there and perform the best you possibly can with no pressure on yourself.
Right, because those other sports I was talking about, like if they lose a basketball game, like, yep, you're still getting paid X amount, and you're going to go hop in your Ferrari, and you're going to go, do whatever you're going to do. Like if I lose, I'm like, man, I got to change what
A lot of things.
like all right, like ooh.
And then that's the other thing too. A lot of these organizations, they do make great money on the back end. They make great money on the sponsorships. Make great money on selling the licensing of the fight in general across the world. But at the same time, a lot of fighters don't make great money because bad management or bad decisions are made. And that's why I think I started Primetime 260, is being able to change those things, because I've made mistakes through my career, and I don't want to make sure other fighters don't make the same mistakes that I've made. So I'm able to recognize those, and I have George Crazy, who's an attorney, also to make sure that those things are corrected.
Do you think the reason why you are right now and giving back is kind of like the wrestler in you? Because I've worked out with so many coaches that it was for free, like not like, oh, Dennis, you owe me this much for the hour we wrestled. They just wanted me to do well. They just wanted me to be successful, and like I want to do that for other wrestlers and now MMA guys,
Well, I think that really comes down to, yes, being a wrestler, but I think just being a patriot and American, man. I want to make someone successful along with me, and I think that's really important, is to push them to a different level and help them become successful. And that's just the patriot in me, I think. As being American and being here in the United States, it's super, super important. It's not a dog-eat-dog world to me. It's I'm willing to help somebody up as I come up, just as long as they don't pull me down, because once they pull me down, I'm going to let go.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well, you're certainly doing a good job of it, being a role model and letting people know what a fighter should be, Tito. You've done that your whole career, I'd have to say.
Thank you, man.
So now, this fight, November 24th, this historic career you've had, what's the highest moment of your career? Is it winning the UFC title? Is it, what would you say would be the highest moment of your career so far?
Gosh, there's been so many. Of course, in the beginning of my career, when I won the world title against Wanderlei Silva, that was a huge stepping stone for me. At the same time, I was only in the competition for only a year and a half. I became the world champion, fighting Wanderlei Silva, who's just
another legend.
And Brazil. But I think one of the highest points would have to be beating Ryan Bader at UFC 132 when I was 6-1 underdog, and all the guys are asking me, like, what am I going to do when I'm done with this fight? Am I going to retire? What is my other businesses I'm getting into? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? I'm winning this fight. Like, okay, Tito, but really, what are you going to do? I'm like, no, you're going to understand. I'm going to win this fight. And when I won, it was all over and said and done. And that next morning when I woke up and I opened up the shears inside the drapes in my hotel room, and the sun is just shining in my face, bright as can be, and it was just like a glory feeling of like, Lord, like, there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
It paid off, and that's what it feels like, and that's what glory feels like. Because if I never lost, I would never have the feeling that I felt that night or that morning when I woke up. It was just such a thankful feeling that I at least sat in my bed and I was just started crying. I mean, not weeping, but just crying of happiness and joy of being thankful, and just like, thank you for giving me this opportunity and to really show how great of a fighter I truly was. Because at the time, I was going through some troublesome times with the relationship I was in with my ex-girlfriend. I mean, I was just going through some troublesome times with the UFC. I was going through so much personal stuff that I wanted to quit. I wanted to walk away. I wanted to be done with everything. I couldn't handle it, but there was just something in me that drove me and just made me work harder. And I mean, I was with my girlfriend, Jen James, at the time, and we stayed in the same household, and I didn't talk to her for 7 weeks straight. I made sure I got up in the morning, took the kids to school. I would come back. I would sleep until 12 o'clock. I would get up. I would train until 3 o'clock. I would come back, pick the boys up from school. I would come home. The nanny would come home or come to the house. I would go back to the gym. I would train. I would come back at 8 o'clock at night before the boys went to bed. I would put them to bed, and I would hop on my Xbox. And I did that for 7 weeks, and I never spoke to her for 7 weeks the full time because of the negativity that I lived with that.
Yeah.
When the fight was over, I was so happy that I did what I did, because it made me realize how important my kids were. It made me realize how important to have a positive household for your children and for myself as a fighter, and just be in a great relationship as I am right now with Amber Nicole Miller. She's a wonderful woman. She shows me what a true relationship, a partnership should be like. And it's just amazing because I've been able to thrive over the last 5 years, be where I am today, where I'm happy to fight. It's great to get in the gym and train. It's great to get up every day and and push myself in the gym, but then come home when I'm done and the kids are here and everything's taken care of, and she's
Yeah.
asking if I'm okay, if I need anything. I got the support that a
Yeah.
fighter needs, and I think that's
Yeah.
really, really important.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, you went really deep right there, you know, but I heard one thing and I was like, whoa. Tito, you play Xbox?
Yeah, but
Dude, we
well,
got
not
a game
anymore. I
or
don't
what?
have it
Oh,
anymore.
man, I thought we were going to squad up, man. I
Yeah,
thought.
I used to do my exit, man. That would be my escape. I'd get away and I'd get on Xbox. I'd be playing Modern Warfare like nonstop until it's bedtime. But I don't need to get away anymore, man. Like
Okay.
I say, I'm in a household now where everything's lit up. The house is warm. I mean, I'm happy to come home. I'm happy to be in a relationship with Amber. My kids are happy. I mean,
That's what's
life is
important, man.
grand, bro.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
important for a human being to enjoy positivity in their life.
Yeah.
Because if you indulge negativity, it'll take over your life like a disease like no other. And I cut that out of my life completely. I have no negative friends around me. I have no negative relationship. I mean, everything is in a positive up and up now where, I'm thankful. I had to live in the hell to enjoy the heaven. I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah, man. That was. Hey, I mean.
Yeah, it takes a little time to get it all together. It's good to see that you're finally getting it together, especially ahead of this Chuck Liddell fight. So, November 24th, you have I don't want to, ask you what your game plan is. Obviously, your game plan is to win and,
He's gonna punch him in the face.
punch him in the face and win. But
Yeah.
after November 24th, what happens? If you win, lose, or draw, what happens after November 24th? Are you done?
Well, after I win this fight, I'm just maybe done. There's just nobody out there for me to fight. I have to have someone who I dislike that just pushes me to an edge where I just can't handle their mouth anymore. I can't handle when people sit there and talk about the guy and just like, I thought I got rid of it when I smashed Chael as quick as I did, but then all of a sudden Chuck started popping off. I was like, all right, here we go again. But here's my opportunity once again, an opportunity to have revenge, an opportunity to have redemption against someone who beat me at the time where I don't think I was physically nor mentally where I am today at all. I mean, I'm 8 to 10 times the fighter I was back then. And I just say that because that's how positive and how strong and fast I feel right now. I mean, my training camp has been going so well. But I believe that I'm done. I think this and people are going, oh, here's Tito again saying he's done. I mean, when I retired with UFC, I did it for personal reasons. I did it because I had to get my family back. I had to go to court and I had to get full custody of my children, and I've had them over the last 5 years, and I've had 100% of custody. My ex hasn't been around at all for 5 years. I had to get my life in order, and I did that, and I stepped away. I signed with Bellator because I was like, you know what? I want to make sure I get the most out of my life. I want to make sure I'm able to compete and still have the wherewithal to literally compete. And I did. And I got in the gym with Jason. He's like, man, you're still fast. You're still reacting great in sparring. Your wrestling's good. I mean, let's do this again. I was like, all right, cool. So I signed the U with Bellator. I went up going 3-1 in Bellator. Only lost to the champ of Liam McGarry by a upside down triangle, which was just the awkwardest position I've ever been caught in my life. And then I ended up fighting Chael for my last fight, thinking that, I'm okay. I got my other businesses I started, Primetime 360, my management company, TO Auto Group, my wholesale car business, Punishment Athletics, which is my clothing company. I was doing some acting and doing really well at it. And I was still looking for that fifth source of income. And all of a sudden, Chuck started talking to smack. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this might be it. Maybe in the promoter, giving back to MMA fighters is what it's truly about. And I think that's really important.
So real quick, going, your last couple fights, you hear about our boy Stephan Bonner?
Yeah, that's really, really sad for him, man. I feel bad for the guy.
He got a DUI in midday?
Yeah, that's the report.
Yeah, I don't really know the details of it. I just heard he got caught with DUI, and I hopefully he has good people around him to help him out. I really don't wish no ill will on anybody.
Yeah.
It's that Vegas lifestyle. It's hard to live in Las Vegas.
It is. It would be tough to live in Las Vegas, that's for sure. I mean, thank God I do live in Huntington Beach, but
you can't be.
Hopefully he gets help, and there's people around that can help him, and hopefully he just finds the right road to walk down.
You can't be burning the candle at both ends,
Oh yeah. Well,
No,
Tito,
no.
you sound like a really personable guy. I'm sure me and Dennis could sit here all day and talk to you, but we don't want to keep you here all day. So, November 24th, Chuck Liddell, what's going to happen?
I think this is going to be just a full-out brawl. Liddell knows he has to defend the takedown. Liddell knows that I'm going to push the pace. I'm going to be in his face, and I'm going to touch him on his chin. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to beat him down.
Yeah, I like that.
Liddell says he's going to knock me out, and he has that opportunity. But will I be there? That's going to be the real question. Can he find me?
Now, what are they doing? This will be on pay-per-view?
This will be on pay-per-view on November 24th, Saturday night, live from the Forum in Los Angeles, California. And I have a full stack card, and actually we got an amateur card on the underneath of it too, to kind of look for the future of MMA. So trying to get back to younger guys also.
Yeah, you're doing a good job of that. Usually we have guys on here that have a little bit of less, of a fighting career than Dennis. So I'm asking for Dennis to give them advice. But Tito, what kind of advice can you give Dennis going forward in his career?
Thanks, Dan.
It really just comes around of who you surround yourself with is who you become, man. And at the end of the day is don't ever step on anybody to get ahead. Be honest. Just expect whatever you do to anybody is what you're going to get back to yourself. And that's just straight karma, man. That's the way life is. And as coming from a wrestling background, and wrestlers, they're the most honest people in the world and the most hardworking people in the world. And nothing against anybody else who does work hard and who are honest and so forth. But I just learned that wrestling is what saved my life. I found wrestling when I was in high school, and wrestling found me in high school. But it changed me, and it made me the man I am today, and I'm very, very thankful. I know Dennis is a great guy, but at the end of the day, Dennis, you got to look for your future of just making sure you make the right moves. This is chess. Life is chess. You got to make sure you make the right moves at the right timing, and be confident when you do things. That's what it comes down to. And like I say, just be honest and work hard and look for other ways to make money, not just in the fight world. Either it's in the apparel world or in the automotive world.
Well, you're on the podcast right now. Hopefully, this could turn into some dinero. You know what I'm saying?
So. Yep. And that works. I mean, it's just one of those. Just make sure you do stuff that you like to do.
Yeah.
Stuff that's fun to you. When I do the car stuff, I love cars. I love going out and bidding on cars and buying cars. And I could go to a car and run the VIN number and look and see if it's been painted or if it's been body shop work done to it.
Tito, I'm a pretty big car guy.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm Puerto Rican. My dad had a body shop growing up.
Doesn't he still have a body shop?
Yeah, he'd be out of body still kicking.
See,
hey, when I see you again,
money's truly in there. There's a lot of money in the car business. People, all the car business guys, they keep quiet because there is so much money in it.
Yeah, when I see you again, we're gonna talk cars for sure.
Awesome, man.
Well, hopefully we'll get you on again after this November 24th fight, Tito. We appreciate you for joining us. We don't even need you to give a shout out or anything unless you want to. Thank sponsors or anything. Everybody knows who you are, so.
I just want to thank all my fans for the support. Over the last 21 years, there's a whole new age of fans now, and of course, all the older age fans, they watch my career to what I do when it comes to competition. I go out and I compete and I put on a show. For all the newer fans that have seen a little bit of it when I fought Chael, that was just the beginning, and I'm going to do the same thing on November 24th. Of course, they can check it out on my Instagram at Tito Ortiz 1999. Once again, that's Tito Ortiz 1999 Instagram. I do all my story, all my training. I do, just life stuff that I do, man. Some motivational things, and I hope I don't hurt anybody's feeling by the support that I give to Trump. But he is our president. You got to let him do the good job that he's doing. And people say you shouldn't talk about politics, but I never have until this, because I just want the future of my children to have a bright future and a safe future, and that's really important to me.
Do you know what I tell people that say don't talk about politics?
What's that?
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, shut your mouth, right? It is what it is, man. Like I say, man, I'm an American, and I'm proud of our country, and I think we should really keep it safe for the future of our children. So.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you completely. You got to be a patriot. No matter who your president is, you got to support them. You got to support the greater good, the goal of getting everybody better.
Yep. So many guys supported Obama back in the day, and they never got the harsh craziness that people are getting for supporting Trump now, and it just doesn't make sense. It just seems like people are so contradictive, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It just doesn't really make sense. The guy's the president, and he was voted. He's doing a great job so far, and he's just doing what he said he was going to do. Obama never did anything that he said he was going to do, and Trump is a man of his word. I worked for him, and people say that he hates Mexicans. Well, he didn't never hate this Mexican, and he doesn't hate all the other ones that are here legally. So that's what it really comes down to. And if you want to live in America, living for a great country as we live in, you got to be here legally, and that's what truly matters.
Yeah, if you were a Mexicant, then maybe he wouldn't be down with you.
And also, before we let you go, Tito, I wanted to say I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw you go hard for Halloween.
Yeah, I do. No, my kids love it, man. My kids dig. My kids are 9 years old. The twins, they love it. They're not afraid of anything. They just scare kids. Like last night, I actually was Jason, and I go full Jason.
You got to the character.
He was full Jason. Were you standing at your door greeting kids like that?
No. So we have we have a gate in front of our house, so we actually set up the whole outside with like candles and big ghost and so forth. So we have like kind of a scary house. You got to walk up to the front of our entrance. But I scared the hell out of kids when I did, though.
Oh, that's too funny.
Like stuffed Michael Myers and stuff. So I make it fun for my kids, make it fun for the kids in the neighborhood, and that's what things like that to celebrate her for is to put a little spooky in their life. And I think I scared more adults last night than I did kids.
Oh yeah, once I saw it, I had to do a double take and be like, "What?" And then I remembered it's Halloween. And I saw that was like a full on that must have cost a couple $100 that costume.
No, that costume was actually I think like $40.
Oh, that's an expensive Halloween costume in my opinion. Go look at his Instagram, Dennis. You'll agree with me.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
And I think what cost the most was the mask and the knife. That was it. That jumpsuit I ended up picking up at a Goodwill. I mean, I try to save money as much as possible. Yes, I do make okay money, but I still try to save money.
It might have been your craftsmanship, but that was a legit costume.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, so Tito, November 24th. Good luck against Chuck Liddell. And Dennis, you
I don't think this luck is needed on this one. I think it's just the hard work and the dedication I put into the fight. And I watched some of Chuck's training stuff, and I hope he's joking. I hope he's really trying to psych me out because the speed that he's at is about a 1, and I'm about a 9 right now. So it may be a short fight or it may be a long, brutal fight, but that's what I'm prepared for is a long, brutal fight.
Either way, man.
More in the back of my cause.
I'm looking forward to watching.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you again for joining us, Tito. Talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. Bye-bye.
The Huntington Beach Bad Boy, Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz, ladies and gentlemen.
I think Tito would have stayed the whole show.
Yeah.
Tito was really feeling us.
Yeah.
You and him definitely bonded there.
But that's one thing I have with fighters is like they get me. And I get them. Like, yeah, you've been punched in the face? Weird. So have I.
I got the same job as you.
Well, like I get paid for it though.
And someone like him, he like I interrupted him unfortunately, but he's a legend in the game. I just wanted to make sure I got that point across. He's one of those guys that, how many people are on Mount Rushmore? 5? He could possibly be on MMA's Mount Rushmore because
for sure.
For the way that the UFC is today, he's that first guy. Like, he's like the way anyone, like whoever feuds with Dana, he's that first guy who feuded, to my memory, in the Zuffa era, that feuded with Dana and had any type of beef with Dana, a contract dispute. And I think it was, looking at his record, I think it was after the Vladimir Matyushenko fight, before the Shamrock fight, or maybe before the Couture fight, I remember him having like a big holdout with the UFC, where he was holding out for a bigger contract, and then they started making it like they were going in another direction with the division. I believe it was the Couture fight, actually, and then they had Couture and Liddell fight for the title, and Couture beat Liddell. But they were kind of like, I don't want to say, they were making Liddell Ortiz the odd man out in the situation. And it was because he was trying to get more money out of the UFC, trying to get his worth, basically. He knew he was on the posters. He knew they were promoting him heavily.
Yeah. You know what's weird is sometimes fighters will get like a little more juice fighting with their boss, and it's crazy because it's sometimes you get more juice or sometimes you get the boot.
Oh yeah,
like
even like a Ben Askren, who's now that trade's now official. He's now in the UFC. A guy like him, he's pretty much famous for fighting with Dana White.
I think Ali Quinta, because he's a great fighter. You know what I mean? But sometimes the way he talks to Dana,
And the way he
talks about Dana, it's
he
like
puts the matchmakers on blast, all that.
Yeah, but I mean, he backs it up by winning fights. You know what I mean? If he was doing that and losing, if he lost twice in a row, it might be like,
then he'd be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. I think it was Eddie Alvarez. When Eddie Alvarez just signed with one a couple weeks ago, and he posted like, "Oh this is great, the contract's great." Ally Quinta posted him like, "Oh, what's going on with the numbers?"
Yeah. So I mean, so like you said, we got 2:30 coming up this weekend. Gian Vellante just threw down this past weekend. It's one of my homies. He beat Herman there, which was a close fight.
Very close fight.
I think Gian won though.
I think Gian. I had Gian win in the fight. I think it could have been not as close. Like I thought Gian should have worked the leg kicks. Like I thought there were a lot of opportunities.
Man.
I was screaming at the TV.
I was like,
kicks?
dude, leg kick this dude, because he was adding up some kicks on Gian. It's like, Gian, you can. He's actually the hardest.
He's the hardest kicker at 205.
He's the hardest kicker I know.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrone Spong's up there. He's very
in the UFC.
Yeah.
Tyrone Spong's a professional kickboxer.
Yeah.
If a professional kickboxer went into MMA, they'd get taken down and be done with. Like that for an MMA. A guy who can kickbox, a guy who can wrestle, do it all. Vellante's got the hardest kicks I've seen at 205.
Oh my gosh.
Some of the hardest kicks. You'd have to think or look at the rankings to figure out a guy who kicks harder than
If we ever get him in studio, do I let him leg kick me?
Vellante, no.
No.
No,
Not even for the fans?
it's up to you.
Well,
I would never let. I wouldn't let you leg kick me, and I can take leg kicks. I've taken leg kick. I don't want to get leg kicked.
No, you should definitely let me leg kick you.
No.
Why?
I mean, you've taken.
Hang on, dude. You gotta give the people what they want.
So you are a professional fighter. You know leg kicks hurt. I know for a fact you know leg kicks hurt. You want a 220-pound light heavyweight to kick you.
Man, I don't want it, but
Have you ever sparred Vellante?
No. I mean, I've wrestled with it, play wrestled with him.
So do you want him to kick you?
I mean, no, but like I was saying, if it'll get people's pants a little stiff. If I get kicked, then hey.
So why'd you hand me this? He was gonna call in?
I'm working on him.
Work on him. We'll see what's up with Jared, and then we'll see about Vellante, and then we'll see if we want to try to prank Phil again, or if he wants to answer the phone this week.
We're calling Jared right now?
I'll see what he's good, see what he's up to, and then I'll have him call in when he's ready.
He's fighting on the Milwaukee card, right? That's a fight night, correct?
Yep. He is on that one. He's coming off that last fight. Remember, he fought the Cesar, got caught with a punch, and the guy did a cop lock behind him.
Right.
Hit him with some punches. Maybe not a primo. He wasn't out, but a tough stoppage. So now he's got to come back from that one. But I think he.
But he's back. Was that one at 45 or 55?
I think that was at 55. I'd have to double check.
And he's staying at 55 for this fight.
Yeah, I think he is abandoning 145 and just going to go 155.
Well, the thing is, I saw he missed weight for 145 a couple times, and then he did this mock cut for Instagram.
Yeah, I saw he did the mock cut. I think he made it.
He did.
I think UFC maybe just offered him a 55 fight. Or maybe just like you were saying, like me and you were talking about on the ride here, he wants to cut 10 less pounds,
Yeah.
I think that's one of those things with the UFC. They need to make the 10-pound weight classes. They need to. I don't know how much it would affect someone like you or Jared, but I think they need to just, because then what it would do is it'll make those guys that are huge at 155 go to 165. You know what I mean? So like you won't have to fight RDA. A guy who's probably a good 15, 20 pounds bigger than you.
Have I ever told you about my sparring experience with RDA?
No, I think I've heard it from other people though. It wasn't good though.
Oof. It was. I was getting ready to. I was 2 weeks out from fighting Clay Guida, and my manager's like, "Hey, RDA is gonna be there today. I want you to get some work with him." I'm like, "What, Doc? What do you? Whoa, this guy he's humongous. What do you mean?" He's like, "What do you mean? He's not much bigger than you." I'm like, "Doc, every aspect of his body is bigger than mine. He's taller than me. His forearms are bigger than mine. His thighs are every aspect of his body is bigger than mine. The man outweighs me by probably 20 pounds. He's like, nah, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So we start moving around. I'm like, whoa. And he's cutting me off. I just didn't like how he was working me, I was like,
Like
Whoa,
you were
whoa.
sparring, he was fighting to the
No,
death.
no, we were just moving. We didn't. A punch hasn't even been thrown yet. We're just kind of just doing some stance and motion stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, RDA, hey, time out real quick. Doc, come here. See, the thing is RDA is a lefty, Clay's a righty. So what am I doing here? He's a righty. He's like, well, I just want you to get some good work. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So we start moving around, right? And he's like, we're an open mat,
At Ruka.
This was at Rain at
Rain.
Mark
I never
Munoz's
been there, yeah,
gym when it was open at the time, and we're moving around, and like I feel like I had nowhere to go, even though we're an open mat. I'm like, Jesus. So I shoot on him. He uppercuts, or no, he throws a kick, a rear kick, stands me right up, grabs me Muay Thai, sends a knee up the middle, and then like pushes me away. I fall down. I am rocked. We have shin guards on, headgear.
Oh, so he needs you in the head.
No, in the chest.
Oh, in the chest, yeah.
Yeah, we have shin guards on. I think he might have had knee pads on. 16-ounce gloves, headgear, right? I'm rocked. He then comes on top of me to like finish me. I hold on to this man like my life depended on it, because it did, I think, at that moment,
Yeah,
and I wasn't
you were
doing
in a fight.
I wasn't doing anything but just hanging on so he couldn't make space and hit me, And he's like, you okay, bro? Like, what's up? I'm like, I am now that I'm like, my head isn't like, I'm not seeing 9 of you and things aren't moving. Like, that I've held you here close to my body like a small child for 15, seconds, like, and then, so I survived the round. Then we did some work on the ground. And I actually did pretty well moving on the ground with him. Was able to wrestle, a little jiu-jitsu, and the ground and pound, which is, a little my thing.
And what? Even there on the ground, he's big.
He's on the but like
even on the feet, he feels
on the
seems
feet.
big.
On the feet, it was a nightmare. And the thing is, after we got done training, I was like, dude, he's going to be the UFC champion, lightweight champion. And then, sure enough, he went and beat Ben Henderson.
Yeah.
And then went on and got the title. I was like, he told you.
Well, now, so he has fought all the way up to 70. You could never fight at 70.
Well, I forget who the guy was, but I was at Rain, and I was moving around with a 185-pounder who was in the UFC. I didn't know the guy's name, and we were on the ground, and I tapped him out. I'm like, what?
Well, you know how that is. There's definitely levels to...
I don't think the guy's in the UFC anymore.
I think there's guys in the UFC that... Like, I always tell... That's why we were talking to, I believe... I think I said it to Carl Reed or Dominic Reyes last week. You have to take guys off that pedestal. Like, I had that from a young age, because everyone I train with, like, it's like, oh, my friend now fights in the UFC. Oh, this guy I know now fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
Oh, my cousin fights in the UFC. So it's always been like one of the only people I've ever geeked out for was Mark Coleman. Everyone else I've met, Rutan, Couture, the only person that I was like, no, oh my God, it's Mark Coleman. It was Mark Coleman. That was like, like everyone else that I've met, like I've met Weidman, all these people, it's not like they're people to me, you're a fighter, you have a job.
You know what? I texted Gian, I gave him the opportunity to, hey, call in, Now I think it's prank time.
Well, let's go, let's go Jared first.
Okay.
And then we'll start pranking people. Why, he gave you crickets? He gave you the crickets off the text message?
I mean, I could read it back. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, he's helping Chris Weidman probably cut weight, but...
Oh, he's definitely helping Chris Weidman.
Well, hear me out. Dude, if I'm cutting weight for tomorrow, like, I'm not starting that until late. I want to be dehydrated for the least amount of time possible.
This is true.
You don't want to be, like, within, we call it striking range.
Oh, here we go. Our next guest calling in. Jared.
What up?
What's going on, my man? Stan the Man here. You're joined by Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Jared, you son of a bitch. What are you doing, dude?
I'm currently watching Entourage.
What are you, taking a little break in the middle of the day from training? No work for you right now?
I got to train like later on at like 7. It's only 5 o'clock here, so.
Are you now like full time in it? You don't have a job or anything out there in Milwaukee, right?
Nah. Fuck that.
How's it going out there? You enjoying it?
Yeah. It's really good, man. A lot of high level training partners, and I literally live across the street from the gym, so super fucking convenient.
I saw
Coaching is also really good, so.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah.
What do they have? You living in a fighter house?
No, I have an apartment with Bilal Muhammad. I share an apartment with him.
Love watching that guy scrap.
Yeah, he's a welter. He's a badass.
Hang on, can you give me some? Can I have a little dirt on? Like, I don't know. You've been living with him. What does he have any bad tendencies? What's going on over there? What do you guys? I've been seeing a lot of bromance going on. I'm like a little bit jealous. I'm like, Jared doesn't even miss me? Doesn't even miss me.
I miss half of what you said.
Well, sometimes when I get excited, I talk really fast. No, I said, I want like some dirt on him, because like you guys look like you guys are having a real bromance over there, hanging out and stuff like that, and I miss you, and I'm like I'm looking at your Instagram, I'm like he doesn't even miss me. He's having a great time in Milwaukee, and like my feelings are hurt.
Bilal's actually a really good guy, dude. He's like he's a devout Muslim. And it's weird though, because I'm like half a Jew. My dad's a Jew, so we're like the United Nations. We're trying to unite Palestine and Israel.
Right. You guys are like a yin and yang, right?
And it's really funny because like he prays like 5 or 6 times a day. So like sometimes he'll be in his room praying, and I'll be like, I won't realize like what's going on, and I'll be like, "Oh!" I'll be like screaming his name, and like he won't answer me, and I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing in there?" And then I'll realize, the kid is fucking praying, and then he comes out and he's like, "What? What do you want from me?" I'm like,
I love that.
So it's pretty funny.
How did that come about?
I originally came out here in March when Paul Felder was going to fight Al Quinta. He had asked me to come train with him because I kind of like mimic that,
the wrestling striker,
like boxer, wrestler style type thing. We're like same height, So I was like, all right. So I came out here, and I was coming off my my first UFC loss, and I just saw like the level of training and the coaching and the amount of training partners that were like my size, and everything is under one roof. In New York, I had to go fucking gym to gym on a subway. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
so,
you were driving like 50 minutes out to Long Island to come train with me and LaFleur.
Yeah. It's like I couldn't do it any longer, man. I did it for years, and it worked. And I have really, really great coaching in New York, but I was missing like the level of training partners, and I was also like everything so out of the way. I had to go to one gym, and I got to go downtown to another gym, and then I have to go to strength and conditioning in another gym, and then I would go to another gym to do cardio. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Because I was going to Henzo's for a little bit, and I was just like, man, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. I mean, Henzo's is great.
The
great
idea
spot.
is so great. The place is so good, but the travels.
But it's just like, man, that's 4 hours out of my day.
Yeah.
That's 4 hours out of my day. It's just like, man, you can't get that back.
It was like 3 hours for me because I would have to, I'm from Astoria, so I would have to take a subway to Henzo's, which would take like 45, 50 minutes. Then I got to change and train, shower.
Then you shoot the shit afterwards for a little bit. You gotta shoot the shit after training.
Yeah, of course. So literally hours out of my day, and then I got to still get in 2 other training sessions. So it was ridiculous. But then, I came out here, and everything's under one roof, so you're training with the same guys in every session. So it's like everyone knows like what you're working towards and what's going on, and like in New York, I would go to Henzo's and I would train with really good jiu-jitsu guys, and then I would go to like Church Street and I would train with like really good boxers or really good kickboxers, but I didn't really have like a bunch of guys my size that were MMA fighters that were really good.
That could string it all together.
Yeah, exactly. So when I came over here, I was getting a real MMA look. And it was just a perfect fit for me. Like, just the coaching and Duke, the way Duke is as a coach and as a person, and the other coaches and, the training partner, everything it just made sense. And like, I kind of wanted to, not that I wanted to leave New York because I fucking love New York and I miss it, but, I just felt like I needed like a change, you know?
Yep.
And so far it's been really good and I feel great, so.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about, you know, like a grueling like workout coming up where you're like, oh fuck, do I really want to do this? And then like your roommate's like, all right, let's go get it. Or like when you're not feeling good, that he can help you. Or like if he's not feeling good, like, come on, man, we got this. Like, let's go do this together. You know what I mean?
Like the fight life.
Almost like a team.
Like the
you know,
fighter
versus
life.
like where he was in New York, he was doing a lot of things and going to different places by himself. You know, where you have to like talk to yourself and kind of dig deep and like, all right, this is like I'm doing this for a reason. Like keep pushing. You know, versus like, you know, going with Mohammed and shooting the shit on the way over the training, and then, you know, and talk about training that you guys did after you're done back at your house. It makes sense in my head. I remember like in wrestling, you know, being in the wrestling house and like, all right, like, you know, you didn't wake up for an alarm, like your buddy would come wake you up, like, all right, come on, let's go, let's get going, you know?
Yeah. So it's like a real like team mentality, you know, and I didn't really have that in New York, man.
Yeah.
Which sucks. And like the guys at Henzo's that like were high-level MMA fighters were too big for me. Like Neiman Gracie,
right?
Guy that fights at 170. Dave Branch. Whatever. I'm going to spar Dave Branch. Doesn't make sense. Like,
right.
You know, Nova was there. Philly Nova, but he retired. And you know, like we had other guys, but it was like hit or miss. Like sometimes there would be guys there, and sometimes there wouldn't. Where here, like so today, for instance. Every Tuesday and Thursday we go to the track, which is like 2 miles from my house, and we do like a sprint workout. And there's guys there every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
So we run at the track together. And 1:30 is pro practice. And then we all have this like routine at night that we do with the coaches. So it's like we're together pushing each other every session all day long, so it's really good.
Yeah, and you're held accountable if you don't make it, and like it's very hard to go to the track by yourself and force yourself to do sprints. It's hard to go to the treadmill and force yourself to do sprints by yourself. When I do sprints, I'm like, yo, want to do sprints with me? It's so much easier to have a guy either to compete against while doing them, or like another guy kind of going through that like that grind, that like oh man, I'm fucking exhausted. Like you're like, well, I'm not as tired as you are. Like let's keep it going, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's good to just have like the extra push. So it's definitely made a big difference, and I'm really enjoying training here. So
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to your next scrap, man. I always like watching Jared the Flash Gordon throw down.
Oh, yeah. Like he said, he's very similar to Iaquinta. Jared gets after it. He plods forward, and he's on the attack. So when I think of Roufusport and all the guys in Milwaukee, obviously the first names that come to mind are like the Pettises and the Ben Askrens and the Sergio Pettis and the guys like that now. Those are the type of guys you're getting in on the mats with, the Paul Felders. I have to think all those guys around your weight you're getting to train with, right? Eric Koch, all those guys.
Yeah, man. I train with them, like Anthony's been out because he got hurt in his last fight. His hand, he like has a repeat hand injury, but
he broke it. He broke it on someone's head.
Yeah, when
hate when that happens.
Felder's here because he's not in camp right now and he's got a daughter at home. I'm training with him, but when Anthony was training every day, he's like one of my main training partners. Sergio too, even though he fights at 25. He's really like walks around at 160. So
is that right?
He's moving up. He's moving up to 35. He's moving up to 35. So he's like, and he's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's great. And then we also have like a lot of guys that aren't in UFC yet who were fucking high level, man. Like really, really good Division I wrestlers and, national champs and guys that are like right on the verge of getting into UFC. Or we have Emmanuel Sanchez. He's fighting for the Bellator featherweight championship against Patrici in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So we have a lot of high level guys, man, and everyone's my size. Like,
right.
And when we got Tyron Woodley, he does his camps here. He's not here right now, but so I mean, there are a lot of high level guys flow through here, and we also have like a bunch of guys that just kickbox. Because it's Duke is like a
legend in the kickboxing game.
And like they're just like regular like they just come to the, they're amateurs, but they've been kickboxing their whole fucking lives, so they're fucking good. You know what I mean? Like,
have you
because they
crossed
never got
paths?
paid to fight doesn't mean they're not good,
Yeah.
So
Have you crossed paths with CM Punk at all?
yeah. Punk was here for his last camp. I was here for Punk's last camp, and he's the nicest guy in the world, dude.
That's what I've heard. Nicest guy in the world.
Stand-up guy. He's like, like he has the level of fame where he could be an asshole if he wanted to,
Right.
But he is so cool, dude, and he's like super down to earth, and he's just not like if you didn't know who he was, like by his face or whatever, and you met him on the street, you would just think he's a regular guy.
Is he still there training at the moment?
He comes and does jiu-jitsu. He's not like training like full time right now, but so, and another thing, like another reason why I moved out here. So like I have, like I said, I had really good coaching back at home, but like this is like a level of coaching. Like, so Duke has produced, he worked with Alan Belcher and Ben Rothwell and Matt Mitrione and then what's his name, Pat Barry. His brother was a 10-time world champion. He was actually better than Duke.
Oh yeah, people forget that.
4-time world champion.
That's where Nami Yunus is from. Nami Yunus cut a lot of her teeth at
Rose
Roufusport.
Sarah Kaufman, and Anthony was a WEC champion. He was a 55-pound UFC champion. Tyron Woodley did his last 6 camps with Duke. He won the belt under Duke. So I mean, and look what they did to Darren Till. Fucking guy almost knocked him out. And Duke has coached in UFC championship level fights on multiple occasions, and has cornered in high level UFC fights like who knows how many times, and he himself has fought in world championships, and he cornered his brother. So he's been doing this his whole life. So it's different when you have a guy that he's seen every single, moment you can have in a fight, every single situation and possibility. He knows the business end. He knows the coaching end. He knows like the fighter mentality end of things. He knows how to train. He knows he'll tell you oh, maybe you should take a rest day, or you need to get in the gym and train harder. So it's like it's a different level of coaching that my coaches from back home just never.
Train hard every day. Train hard every day.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. Or they never cornered a guy in a UFC level championship fight.
Well,
where
now,
these guys have cornered multiple fights.
In New York, I'm getting the sense you really didn't have a head coach who put it all together. Now you have Duke, and Duke puts it all together. He's the head coach, and he'll get you the jiu-jitsu you need. He'll get you the wrestling you need.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bad-mouthing my coaches from home because they were fucking great. They got me into UFC. I won my first 2 UFC fights with them. I was 14-1 under them.
Well, the travel. Think if you put that math on paper, how much you probably spent traveling just to train. If you did the math and did 365, it's probably disgusting.
Yeah, well, if you're not laying down, or taking a nap or chilling, and you're on a subway, even you're sitting and you're moving, you're draining yourself.
Oh yeah,
freezing cold.
Draining.
Freezing cold. I'm wearing fucking Timberlands, and I got a big bag on my back. And,
yeah, it's New York. And
no matter where I went, there would be cons, pros and cons. But coming here, there was the pros heavily outweighed the cons. So I had to make the move.
Yeah, it's colder in Milwaukee, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm asking him. He's there right now.
It gets cold here, man. So the snow is it seems like the snow is the same, the amount of snow and stuff, but it just gets way colder here.
Mm-hmm.
How is it for you as far as living? I mean, you grew up in New York. You grew up, in the Mecca, there's people everywhere. How is Milwaukee compared to New York? Completely different?
Oh, it fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. What time they stop serving alcohol in Milwaukee? Not that you drink.
I don't know. I don't drink alcohol.
Well, you know what I mean. I know,
I think they stopped serving it too.
Yeah, like I know, like Connecticut, a lot of places, like New York's one of those
But that's
places.
like
New York
most
never
states.
sleeps.
Yeah.
New York is
And
just-
Vegas.
But I mean, it's cool, man. Like Milwaukee, the city itself is nice. Like downtown Milwaukee, it's like a real city. You know, it's small, but it's like it's a city. And you know, like so I live like in like the suburbs, kind of, and it's cool, dude. Like everything is like outdoor friendly. They have like really nice like parks with like really nice tracks, and like everything is nicer, like cleaner and nicer. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like living in where I live looks like Mineola, or it looks like East Wilson,
Got ya.
or something like that. Like you know, somewhere in Nassau County.
Let's spice this podcast up a little bit. What's your love life like right now? You know, is there talent out there or what? Should I come for a visit or?
Talent is on the lower end.
Oh my
Sure.
God! In New York,
But-
in New York, what's a
But let
Milwaukee
me tell
10?
you, but life is too short to have standards.
Ooh, agreed,
Ooh,
Lassie.
I like that. I like
In
that.
college, I had very few. She can stand. It's a girl. All right, let's roll.
But so yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of run-ins, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Wait,
so,
hang on. So when you have a
no
run-in,
problem.
are you dropping the UFC card or you just play like, hey, my name's just Jared. Like I
All right, so my Tinder
New York,
and my
Jared.
Bumble, is connected to my Instagram.
Okay.
So usually, you know, when you match with a girl, they look at your information, they see your Instagram, and then they see, you know,
So you're strong,
it's
huh?
Pretty easy. It's pretty, yeah.
You work
Pretty
out?
easy.
Now, are there a lot of New Yorkers in Milwaukee, or are you like a rare commodity out there?
There's not many, dude. Not many. Who the fuck wants to move here?
Yeah. So people are like, what's with your
Yeah.
accent?
Yeah. People are like, you're not from here, are you? So they don't like sound like rednecks here, but they definitely have their own, like, little.
Their own native tongue.
Everything is like sound like everything is. They sound like nasally.
Yeah. I used
They're
to
like
date
a nasally.
I used to date a girl that lived in North Carolina, and I liked her little like southern tang she had on her accent. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
Milwaukee's Midwest, right? So they don't have the Southern. They're more like
No, yeah. They have like a nasal.
Give me your best
Girl in
impression.
the movie
Ooh.
Fargo.
You've been out there for some time. Give me your best impression.
that. Don't sound good. He's like a nasally Fargo. I don't want that coming out of a chick's mouth.
They're like, don't you know? Oh, like, they say like weird things, dude. They're like,
Almost
okay,
like-
you want to go to the gym? Yeah. Like,
Oh,
I'm
so
like,
they
what?
have like Canadian kind of.
like Minnesota,
They could.
Canada accent, yeah.
Mm.
But like,
Mm.
some of the people like in the city don't sound like that. They just sound like regular people. But you could tell that, like when they speak to me, they're like, "Oh, you're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "Nah."
And did I hear you say
God
something
for-
about
God
food?
forbid.
Over the food's better, or the food's good over there?
No, the food is
Terrible.
not even close to as good as New York.
Oh, that's got to be tough.
Wait,
Well, they
hang on,
have-
hang on. It's good and bad. It's better for his weight.
It's good for his weight, but it's bad for his taste buds, his celebrate. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, actually, there's a huge Mexican population in Milwaukee, so they have like good tacos and shit.
Which is
The
important for
Italian
Tuesday.
food
Am I
is
right?
Despicable. Yeah, Taco Tuesdays.
Woo.
They have a terrible,
They do any deals
terrible
over there?
Italian food, terrible sushi.
Oof.
Is
Oof.
there anything to do?
No. I'm saying
He's asking about taco deals.
Yeah. What's the best bargain you get on Taco Tuesday?
What do I get on Taco Tuesday? you
Yeah.
said?
Do they have any deals?
Oh man,
Shitty deals.
they have a place over here. They have like $2 tacos, and they're really good, man.
I'm excited about
Really
that.
good tacos.
I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna try them out.
Good queso.
How many tacos do you think I
Yeah.
could eat?
I think you could put them down.
You know what we
I would
forgot
say
to
you could
ask?
probably eat a good 10, 11 tacos.
What we forgot to
If
ask
you really wanted to.
Tito before, but we can ask Jared. So this is a good question. So
What's
Jared, I don't know if you ever trained with her before, but Dennis Bermudez, Chris Cyborg, who wins?
Oof. Is that gonna
I
be?
think knock that bitch out.
You going with Dennis?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm going with Dennis, dude. I think you would knock that bitch out.
Have you ever been in the same room as her though?
Dude, she is a huge bitch.
I know. Oh.
Well, that's what we were talking about last week. Dennis was telling the story how one time he walked in the gym and she was there, and he was like, "I am not sparring with her. I'm not talking to her. Like I'm not doing anything with her."
No, I talked
Well, you
to
know
her.
what I mean. Yeah, you were like,
Yeah.
I'm not moving around with her. I'm good.
I'm not sexist.
Dude, I saw her at the UFC athlete retreat.
Oh, I was
She
there
had
with
to
you.
she had to be at least 185 pounds.
She punched that one chick.
Smacked her back.
Punched that girl in the face.
Mm.
Remember she had that fucking cat with her? It
Well,
looked like
didn't
a
she?
little
Well, the story
hybrid.
is she backfisted the girl and then bitched up Weidman. That's what LaFleur posted. I
Oh,
remember
yeah, right.
everyone was
Fucked up
posting
Weidman.
that she bitched up Weidman.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you might be next, Dennis. We gotta stop. We actually should stop talking about her now because she might
Yeah,
get.
dude,
quit
she's
when
gonna catch just this podcast. Be like, does Bermudez have something out for me?
No, you know what it'll be. You'll get the pass, and I'll get fucked up by Cyborg. and
Yeah,
I'll
I
have
like
to fight
that.
Cyborg.
I actually love that.
I got something for her though.
I love that.
I got one good round for her.
Dude, she would kick a hole in your chest.
If she throws a kick, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
She'll kick my leg right out from under me.
Yeah, Stan has a bad leg.
She's a big girl. Her head is like the size of my torso.
Oh yeah, she's jacked. She's definitely one of those chicks that you can tell she
She's
works out.
tremendous.
So now, Jared, coming off that last one, you got this next fight December 14th. We're gonna be in your adopted backyard in Milwaukee. I'm sure you're excited for that. Who do they got you against? Joaquim Silva, right?
Yep.
You know anything about him?
He's a Brazilian with big biceps.
Yeah, he's like a kickboxer. He
Is
wants
he the
to keep it standing.
is he the
never
one Gregor
shoots.
fought?
No, Gregor was offered him.
Pichel. Oh yeah.
Gregor
Oh,
was offered him.
Yeah, Gregor was matched up against him at one point, I believe. His name looks familiar.
Well, what happened?
I just the fight never went through. I don't think.
Yeah, Silva pulled out.
He also has pretty
Silva.
great. He also has some pretty good pecs.
Who, Silva?
You guys what?
Yeah, he's got some pretty. He's got great beach muscles, right?
He looks like he's in
Yeah,
pretty good
he's
shape.
definitely he definitely looks more imposing than I do.
Yeah, which I love that when a guy is like, yeah, I'm gonna take those muscles and fucking choke you with them.
Yeah, that's how it goes for most of my fights.
So now, do you scout opponents, or do you kind of just go in there and try to impose your game plan mostly?
No, I used to not watch people's fights, but now I do. I don't know. I had this thing like I didn't want to watch them for some reason, but
Yeah,
now like you gotta watch them now. You're an idiot if you don't watch your
yeah, I agree.
you don't watch your opponents. You know?
I used to. Well, when I watch opponents, I watch them lose. I like watching them lose, and I put myself, oh, well, that's how he beat him. I could do that too. I could easily do that.
right.
That's a good way to do it. So now,
So like his
go ahead.
his couple of fights were like the ones that he won. He won 2 by split decision, I think, and the
Yeah,
guys were.
he beat the one dude who, I know this guy beat Loro, and he lost to Dre. That dude, I don't know how to pronounce that name. And then he knocked out the guy Andrew Holbrook, and then he beat
Gregor knocked that guy out.
Yes, the guy Gregor. They both highlighted that guy in, I believe, I think Gregor beat that guy in 18 seconds, and this guy knocked him out in 34 seconds. And then he's got a split
But
against
like, it was
Reza
like a
Madadi.
weird knockout, dude.
Yeah,
he,
I,
like,
I think it was a back
He,
of
like,
the head shot.
flipped. Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't even like they were standing and like, you know, exchanging, and he caught him. The kid like fell on the floor, and as he was getting up, Silva punched him, and the kid got knocked out.
No,
it was like a weird fight.
Yeah, I love this fight for you, man, because I've seen him
That's
fight a little
good.
bit. He throws from the hip. He throws big loopy punches, but
Yep.
and your boxing is so tight and just like, I mean, yeah, he's got like big beach muscles, but when I look at you, man, like I would much rather pass him in the city in a dark alley than you. You know what I mean? Like you have like you just look mean in the face, you know, even though you're a complete sweetheart, but like you've been through some shit, you know what I mean? Like this guy probably hasn't been through what you have, you know what I mean? And I want to fight the guy who's had like more of a luxury lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have what it takes to dig deep and get it done, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So the plan. I feel like I'm gonna finish him in like the second or third.
Yeah, I like that. Because there's no
He's
chance.
gonna probably come
yeah.
out like he's gonna come out strong, obviously, and then I'm gonna start taking his gas away, and then I'm gonna start hurting him.
Yeah, because there's no chance that he can run 5 miles at 10 miles per hour continuously.
Yeah.
You know who can?
Yeah.
Jared Flash
Jared
Gordon.
can.
Jared can?
Jared Flash Gordon.
I actually ran 6 yesterday at like 9 miles per hour the whole time.
Yeah, I like that.
And now you got a couple
I mean,
of
don't get me wrong, it sucks a lot.
Yeah. No, I
It
know all
really-
about.
I
I
got
all
to
know about
3
stuff.
miles and I was like, fuck, dude, this is. I don't know if I got another three in me, but I just bit down.
But you got to get
I
home.
just bit down and get it under. Yeah.
So now this December 14th, Roufusport, you got a few teammates on this card as well, right?
Yeah, we got 4 other guys on the card. Sergio's on the card. Gerald Merschart's on the card. Jordan Griffin, who got signed off the Contender Series. This is his first fight. We have Eric Koch, who's been in UFC and WEC. He was in forever. But he's actually not training with us. His father died, so he went home to Ohio to help his mother and his brother like run their gym over there. So, but he's still like born and bred in Roufusport, so he's like a Roufusport guy, basically.
Right.
But so yeah, there's 5 of us, so it should be fucking awesome, man. I'm excited to. I'm not gonna lie though, I was really fucking salty that I wasn't on the Madison Square Garden card. I was born in Manhattan.
Yeah.
My grandfather fought in Madison Square Garden. And
yeah, they haven't put you on a New York card yet.
No, I fucking trained down the block for fucking most of my career. And I was super salty, man. Like, they put all these other fucking losers on the card. And I'm just being salty. Actually, like,
no, man, it's on your bucket list, man. I get it. I would like to fight there as well, but I mean,
and I was pissed. But then I'm coming off a loss. I moved to Milwaukee. I'm fucking broke. I got like $950 to my name. I just checked my account this morning. I don't like to check it because I don't want to see that terrible number. And I got less than $1,000 to my name. I still have 6 weeks of camp left. So I thought, I don't have to travel to New York. I don't have to pay for extra rooms. I don't have to pay for extra tickets. I don't have to buy corner passes for my coaches.
Yeah.
I get to do all my workouts in my gym. I live a couple blocks away from the fucking arena. So it's like everything happens for a reason, and I think it's just setting me up to get on the Madison Square Garden card next year.
Or maybe you can get on that Barclays card that they usually do around like February, March.
Yeah, so like if I would have fought on that Madison Square Garden, they would have probably stuck me on the Fight Pass,
That's where they put all the New Yorkers other than Weidman.
So then, like, I'd rather, wait a year, get up the ladder, and then they put me on like a main card or something like that in Madison Square Garden. So everything happens for a reason, but.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Fight Pass is going to open up with Kelleher, or Kelleher's the second fight. Then it's going to be Arce, and then it's going to be Shane Burgos. So, yeah, all the New Yorkers other than Weidman are going to be the prelims. So that seems to be the UFC's protocol.
Yeah.
Or you could be Dennis Bermudez, then you might get a co-main event spot.
But like he was saying, he's got 6 weeks left in his fight camp. And I've had people reach out to me on Twitter like, oh, man, I'm a big fan from the UK. Like, come fight over here, brother. Like, I would love to. However, I have to fly my corners over there. I have to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want to fight as close to home as possible because the fights are then cheaper,
Yeah, of course.
Like, it comes out of your purse.
You don't got to fucking sit on a plane for 10 hours.
Yeah.
How's everything else going, Jared? You how you doing with the sobriety? How long have you been sober at this point? You have your count right in your head, right?
Yeah, on December 27th, I'll be sober for 3 years. So.
Wow.
So keep it up, my brother.
The longest I've ever been sober, and I feel great. And
good things are coming from it. You see where you are in your career. You're at, even though you're coming off a loss, you obviously figured out a lot off of that loss, and moving to Milwaukee, you got a lot of the right pieces in the right places, so things will start working out.
Yes, sir.
So now what's up? Are you done with 145?
That's what it looks like, man. I'm staying at 55.
Yeah, just grow. That's what me and Dennis were talking about too. Just grow into 55 and just fill yourself out there, and hopefully eventually even they spread the weight classes out and they'll bring in 65 and 75, and a lot of those bigger 155ers will go up to 65, and it'll right everything a little bit.
Now, if they bring in 65,
Yeah, you know what, man? Like,
Jared, you're being rude.
it's like,
Jared, you're being rude.
what's that?
No, but
Yeah.
if they bring in 65 and 75, the 70 gets scratched?
Yeah, I believe
All right.
that's what they should do. Yeah.
All right, continue, Jared. Sorry.
No, that's all right. But I was gonna say, like, now it's, it used to be about being bigger, but I'd rather be better than bigger, So
Healthy.
yeah, what's the point of fucking killing yourself just so you can out-muscle a guy? Like, you might as well just not kill yourself and just be more skilled. So.
Oh yeah, me and Dennis have talked about it in the past. The more weight you're going to cut, where's the water come from? It's got to come from somewhere, and eventually, at least an ounce, a drop, it's going to start coming from your brain a little bit. You're going to take punches a little less, and it's going to weaken your bones, the whole nine. So it's definitely better to fight fully hydrated, or as close to fully hydrated as possible.
100%. I agree.
All right, so 155 it is for Jared Gordon, Joaquin Silver, December 14th.
15th, right?
14th.
15th.
Oh,
Yeah,
15th.
shut
All
up.
right, then I'm an idiot.
Stan, yeah, you are an idiot.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's not all right, okay?
No, my bad.
All right.
I should have been on top of that. I should have been on top of that.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I'm
man.
going to leg kick him after we're done.
All right, so Jared, we really want to thank you for joining us. You gave us more than enough time. We hope we're not keeping you from anything. Dennis, you've definitely been in the game a little bit longer than Jared. Any advice you can give him going forward in his career?
Jared's got it figured out, man. He's doing all the right things. He's making the because I feel like it's almost a flaw to a certain extent is like that I'm so loyal. And I'm sure Jared fought that for a long period of time before he actually made the move. He probably wanted to move out there like almost when he got back from training with who was that again?
Paul.
With
Leben.
Paul, yeah, with Paul, and was just like, but this is my team, this is my guys, so it probably, right, it took you probably a while to, like, no, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, I had to, like, process it, so.
Pros and cons, right? You said the pros outweighed the cons. I do that a lot
Exactly.
with big decisions. I actually get out a piece of paper and I write them down and I look at them. So you can physically see that, like, all right, this is better than this. It's right here in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, listen, for what it's worth, I really miss you.
Oh yeah, Dennis misses you, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people, Jared. You're doing a great job with your career. We want to thank you again for joining us,
Thank you.
We'll get you on again.
Thank you.
Hopefully we don't get canceled. We'll keep this show going, and me and Dennis will get you on again right after you knock this guy out in December.
No, he's gonna finish him in the second.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Jared, we'll be in touch, bro.
Dennis, by the way.
Good. That's what I was looking to hear, dude. Right? It was a one-way.
I love you.
Now it's here we go.
All right, you're the man, Jared. Thanks again for joining us.
See you,
All right,
Jared.
guys.
Take it easy.
Thanks. Later.
Hey, you wanna know who's a piece of shit?
Who?
Gian Volante.
Why? Because he
I
ghosted
don't know.
you?
I don't like. Hey.
Oh shit! He started ghosting you. That's the start of it. When he just
Did
stops.
he?
Yeah, that's the start. He just stops answering a text message. Now
You know what? Run the number I gave you.
You gave me a number?
I think so. No, maybe I didn't. We're gonna fucking prank this ninny. He wants me to do Cooking with the Menace with him and his mother.
Who? Volante?
Yeah.
What happened with Cooking with the Menace? When's that
Just-
coming back?
It may come back. Well, the thing is, so what people don't understand, so like the Cooking with the Menace video is anywhere from 1 minute to maybe 5 minutes max. It takes me 2 hours.
A day, yeah, like a day probably.
To film it.
Yeah.
Because we're doing different angles, and then we sit there like, so what should we do next? Like, you want to hit me with an egg? And like also like, how many times can one person get hit with an egg before you're like, all right, we get it. You get hit with eggs, Like I try to get new ideas, and so I guess I needed to take a little bit of a break, but maybe I'll start jotting down some things and I think
I loved Cooking with the Menace.
Yeah,
I thought that was actually very, very enjoyable. You ever see it? It's a good show. It's Dennis cooking, showing people what's up, cooking pizza, cooking all types of shit.
Yeah, I try to put in a few tricks, that can help the average person cook. But the main thing is to be funny and entertaining. That's what I'm really looking forward. Like, if I put a smile on your face and you watched it, like, awesome, dude. That's what I'm looking for.
Did you learn anything from doing it? You probably learned some shit too. Looks like you had a couple chefs every time.
Well, yeah, I worked with a few chefs, and I learned a few tricks of my own, so...
And it's crazy when you think you can cook, and then you actually learn from a chef. Like, I remember when I lived in Florida, my girlfriend worked at a restaurant, and the guy was actually, like, one of John Gotti's chefs or some shit, and he was, like, teaching me how to make chicken francaise and stuff, and I used to make chicken francaise. I used to make, like, a big batch. I didn't know how to make it for one person. So the guy told me, like, oh, you can make chicken francaise for one person. I was like, how? And he took me in the back and showed me, like, how to fucking measure it out and shit. And what would have took me, 2 days, this guy did in, like, 7 seconds. Like, literally, like, 2 minutes, he whipped up chicken francaise, put it on my plate. I was like, oh, shit, that's fucking crazy. You see, they're like wizards, Same as, like, jiu-jitsu.
What's funny is people are like, I didn't know you can cook. I'm like, well, I can read.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it tells you what to do, like...
People who can't cook, they just don't pay attention to the food. They're either over... I consider myself a good cook. They're either like over pinching with the salt, over pinching with the spices, or they don't pay attention to it actually cooking. So it burns. It doesn't cook evenly. Something goes wrong. And it's usually attention to detail.
Yeah.
People who are not good cooks, it's not like, oh, well, I read everything, I did everything perfect, and it tastes it. Then what? You fucked up something.
Yeah, well, there's also, like, you can be lazy in it. Like,
that's what I'm saying. They don't pay
man,
attention.
like, garlic can change the way something tastes, but, mincing up garlic, takes 5 minutes of something like, I don't really feel like mincing garlic, You get what I said, yeah?
Yeah, what do you want me to call him?
Yeah, dude, fucking call that guy. I'm sick of his mouth. I'm opening up. Hopefully he answers, because I'm going right at the neck.
Right for the neck?
Yeah.
Right for the jugular?
Yep. Here we go. We're doing a prank call. Oh. Your phone rings like shit.
Does it? What does
I
that
don't
mean?
know. I just feel like
How does the phone ring?
Well, dude, let it ride. Let it go to voicemail. Because I'm going to leave a dirty, nasty, just really in your ass voicemail. All right, really get in there. Do you think he's got his voicemail set up?
Probably not.
Or like a generic, you reached number...
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
What a
messaging system.
lazy...
5, 6,
maybe
3,
you can edit that,
3,
right?
Yeah, we'll edit
2,
that out. We had to deal
3,
with Phil's number last
3
week.
is not available. The mailbox is full and
What?
Oh, he burned it.
Oh my gosh! Gian is... Hang on.
He was ready for you.
Hang on. I'm telling you, that's just laziness.
He was ready for you.
Gian, you fucking... I'm gonna when we send out this podcast, I'm gonna be like, Gian was on it. We spoke about Gian.
Oh, you're just gonna tag him and be like, oh yeah, we talked.
Yeah.
We had Gian in.
Great talk.
We had Gian in studio. He was here with us for about 2 hours.
Well,
we tried, like I said, that's why I wasn't gonna say reach out to any of them. I actually was thinking even the whole Serra Longo team kind of, because they're all. I know Aljo's there. I know Iaquinta's there.
Yeah.
I know because they got Frivola fighting. They got what's the other kid? Don't they have two?
the Russian dude?
No, they have Frivola. Don't they have someone else? Or is it just Frivola and Weidman? Oh, no, it's just Frivola and Weidman. But still, I'm sure that's enough to ban the whole team.
Well,
together.
my move was gonna be, hey Gian, what's going on? Da-da-da. All right, great talking to you. Put Wyman on the phone. I know you're right next to him.
Well, he started the ghosting of Dennis the Menace.
Nah, I'm gonna egg his house.
Hey, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, let's egg his house. But
So we'll just ride this one out for a few. We'll see what Phil wants to do. Maybe we'll get Phil on for 10 minutes. We got in a few minutes late. We actually ran super long with Jared and Tito.
well, I mean, they like talking to me, dude.
They both loved us, so
I mean,
we're gonna have to. Don't say they didn't love me. They both
us.
loved me. Us.
That's
Us. The Menace and the Man.
oof.
The Menace was incomplete there without the Man. You needed me to add those little anecdotes. Otherwise, Tito.
Well, hang on. Ready for this? If I was
Otherwise, Tito and Jared would have rethought his friendship with you,
no
and Tito would have been like, I don't even
chance.
think I really like that.
No chance. Hang on. If there was no man, it was just the Menace. We would have been talking about cars. Like
This dick always wants to talk about fighting.
yeah. You always want to talk about. We've been talking about cars, girls. I mean.
You know, it was funny too, the segue. Like, I didn't make sense of it until I re-listened to the other podcast. Remember Dom Reyes was like, oh, I want to hear Dennis's joke. Your joke was, hey, have you ever got any rounds in with Spider Monkey Yoda? And he was like, no. And that, that was your joke. And then 10 minutes later, he was like, Dennis's joke. What joke? So then when I re-listened to the show.
What are you doing over there?
I was texting Matt.
Do you play any games on your phone?
Not really.
Tell you what's a great one. Clash of Clans.
I've heard such things.
I don't know. They should be paying me to say that.
I know, all you guys. I don't know why all you guys don't have that
Ready?
shit.
Hang on. Ready for this? Chris Leben, right, reached out to Supercell and said, hey, will you guys sponsor me? I don't want any money. I just want gems for Clash of Clans.
Really?
And they ghosted him.
They ghosted him. They wanted nothing to do with it.
He only wanted gems.
Wow.
He didn't even want money. He just wanted to be maxed out in all of his bases and his troops. And I was like, I would have done the same thing. I think I actually had my manager like, hey, reach out to them, see if we can do a little.
That's actually like honorable. He did it for all his people. He was like, I just want stuff for my people.
Well, for because you have
his
a clan.
His
you
clan,
have a clan. You want to be the strong guy.
I don't know anything about it. I just see all you guys.
Because you're a loser.
Bro, like, grown men, professional athletes, they're like so into this.
All right, shut it down. Because, hang on, Tito just said it earlier, he would play Xbox, do his camp, just because that's how he escapes from training so hard. So, like, I get people reaching out to me like, hey, man, why don't you play the UFC game? Because I do it every day. That's why. I want to shoot people in the head and drive super fast cars and make that car explode because I can't do that in real life. And that makes me happy.
Oh, we got another call coming in. Phil.
What's up, man?
What's going on, my man? Stan the Man here. I'm with Dennis the Menace Bermudez. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, Phil?
What's up, man? How are you?
Miss you, dude.
You guys have met before? You met Dennis?
Hang on, do you want to know the very first time I met Phil Baroni?
Where was it?
I was in the lobby of my hotel for my Ultimate Fighter finale, and Phil was down, and Keith Trimble was like, hey, what's going on, Phil? And I sat down, shook hands, and I think you guys were gambling a little bit, and that's how I met Phil Baroni, before I threw down.
Your first time?
My very first UFC, like, official scrap.
Oh, so there you
Phil
go.
Baroni was in Las Vegas.
That's some history right there. So what's going on with you, Phil? You got that fight with Chris Leben coming up. How's training going?
Going good, man. Going good. Just been boxing. Just got back from AKA and feeling pretty good, ready to go.
Now, Phil, this may be a dumb question. When you're hitting mitts or bag work, are you wearing gloves?
No.
Wow, I like that.
Of course, yeah. No,
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if maybe you were like conditioning your knuckles for bone.
No, fuck that.
So now this Leben fight, this has definitely been a fight that's been in the making since probably 2004. You know, you and Leben were a fight fan's dream. So what's going to happen in this fight?
Quick knockout.
Yeah.
Quick knockout. I think I'm too fast. I hit too hard. I think it's a good fight for me.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always thought. I thought it was a good fight. Leben just comes forward, so he's just going to walk into some shots is what I think.
Leben does have that zombie attribute where, like, he's not home, but he's still somehow home, and he's, like, able to put fools down.
Oh, yeah.
But that don't scare the badass.
I'm not worried about that. I don't think he's going to be able to take my shots.
Yeah.
I just don't think he can take the shots.
Oh, yeah, I see you hitting mitts on Instagram. You're looking jacked right now. What are you weighing?
About 200 pounds.
And what's this fight going to be at? 200 pounds?
200 pounds of muscle, Stan. 200 pounds of muscle.
And now, I know you've been training out there with Matt on the Grape Farm, and I keep seeing you tag yourself at the Nick Diaz Academy. Are you training with Nick Diaz?
Nate Diaz Academy. Yeah, with Nate Diaz a couple of times. I just over there sparring. They have a good boxing coach over there. I've been sparring with him. I just been getting a lot of my boxing training over there.
And then I also saw you recently at AKA. Are you back with AKA? You just stopping in to say hello, getting some rounds in?
Getting some rounds in, just stopping in and say hello. I'm in the area. I always go to AKA to test myself, so I just went in there to see where I'm at, really.
Oh, yeah, I saw that picture on the wall. I saw you standing under the picture of you on the wall with Javier Mendez, Crazy Bob Cook, some real legends in the game, some of the guys that pretty much made the UFC and made MMA what it is today from the infancy stages back in the day.
Yeah, those guys have been in the game since the very beginning, since the first UFC days.
So this is bare knuckle boxing. How long are the rounds?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that couldn't be more in your ballpark than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Did they make that time for you specifically? Like that's your. After 2 minutes, Phil Baroni can be like, get a little tired. But if you get a little break, Phil Baroni, he's back. He's throwing heat.
Yeah, this fight's in super high altitude, though. That's the only thing that sucks about it. So, it's in Casper, Wyoming. Really, really high altitude.
Ooh, that's not going to be good for either one of you. I think every fighter has a problem in high altitude.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is Leben hasn't fought in forever, no?
Leben hasn't fought in a few years. He had like a heart condition, a whole bunch of problems he had going on. I believe he had a drug problem, alcoholism, all that. So
yeah, I hope he's still getting high and drunk.
I love that. Me too.
Now, you're still blazing weed, right, Phil?
No.
No, you gave up smoking?
Just a little bit. Once in a while.
Oh, I figured out in California now that it's recreational legal. You know, I figured everyone.
Yeah, well, my back hurts.
Mm.
How are you feeling physically, getting ready for this fight?
And I feel really good, man. I train pretty good. I feel pretty good, man. I feel pretty good.
All right, that's good to hear. So, what's the date for this fight? It's the 16th, right?
Fuck, I think so.
You don't even know the date?
Coming up.
Hey, they tell him where he's gonna be. He shows up. Okay.
Yeah.
He'll memorize these things.
I'm bad, man.
I just figured he wanted to peak. You know, he wanted to set everything up correctly.
Yeah. He's got a roundabout. Like he's gonna be ready to rock and roll around that time.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on after this fight? After you knock Chris Leben out, what's going to go on for the New York Badass? You going to keep going at this?
Well, I'm just having fun, man. Who the fuck knows? Hopefully, Japan is easy.
Well, now you're fighting for fun at this point, right? Like you don't still need to fight after the Bitcoin money now?
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah, so this is all fun and games for the New York Badass at this point. So Chris Leben's in for a rough night.
I like that. Well, the thing. So Phil, you know what? Give me your give me a badass, New York badass, like high school fight, like bare-fisted fight. Can you take me back to memory lane and give me one you're like where you just fuck someone up for like, hey, he asked for it.
I'm sure there's been a lot. I've heard of
on the streets.
Yeah, I've had a lot, man. Fucking, you train with Keith Trimble, right?
Yeah.
One time we had a kickboxing fight over in fucking
Bacola Clickies or whatever it is.
down by the water by Sprats down there.
The Vanderbilt.
Oh fuck.
It's irrelevant. Continue.
Down by Sprats, whatever the fuck it was, maybe the Vanderbilt. We had a fight. It was outside, and Keith was my corner, and we ended up fighting all the bouncers. Let me try and remember the story.
After the fight?
One of the bouncers is something. One of my, I don't know, maybe my old man, and a fucking big fight broke out. So I was throwing down. Everybody was throwing down. Keith was in that fight. That's what I remember. Keith was throwing down in that fight.
Now, were you just like one hitter quitting people, or was it like you hit him with a combo, then turn the next guy, hit him with a combo, or just one hit next, next?
Yeah, serious fight, real big fight.
King was a giant fight.
Club was down.
You hit any takedowns? Any submissions in this fight? No, you're just going for blood.
Street fight, just boxing.
And your gloves are off. Like your gloves are off, right?
Gloves off.
Right.
Wraps on.
Oh, that's a scary sight right there.
Oof, because he's got like a little support in his hands, but he's got no padding on his hands. You know what I'm saying?
One of the funniest stories, I've known Phil a long time. Phil's actually my cousin, like through my mother's side. One of the funniest stories Phil ever told me when I was a little kid was, you remember this, Phil? You told me at one point that you were the UFC heavyweight champion?
No, I don't remember. Probably true story, though.
I remember bullshitting with you, and you were like, oh, I'm the UFC heavyweight champion. I was like, well, how was that? You were like, oh, I just knocked out Rico Rodriguez. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you and him had gotten in a little tiff, and then that was a story.
Yeah, probably true story. Probably beat him up at Tito's. But
yeah, I remember hearing the story. Like, that's how, like, I remember that was how you wound up with Mir, and you wound up with Ricardo Pires back in the day. You probably had such a storied life. You don't even remember half the shit.
No, I do remember that. Yeah.
Like you went out there to hang out with Rico, and Rico was like, "Oh, you can't stay here," so you beat him up over it.
Yeah, he pressed charges on me.
And Rico was the heavyweight champion at the time.
I just.
Yeah.
He had just beaten Randy, so I remember Phil telling me he's the heavyweight champion. I was like, "Oh shit!" In my head, I'd be the heavyweight champion. I just beat up the heavyweight champion,
Yeah.
So there was one point when Phil was the Leonil heavyweight champion of the
You were
UFC.
the UFC street heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure you got many other stories like that. The New York Badass definitely seems like a guy who doesn't play around. You've definitely been to at least 300 street fights in your life, right?
At least 150.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. Well, you bouncing and collecting and all the things he did growing up. I'm sure he's been.
I think I've only been in like 3.
Yeah, that's a few.
You didn't fight in school though?
Well, the thing is, I was like a really good wrestler, and also I like to consider myself a sweetheart, where I don't like really try to start problems with anyone. So there's no reason for anyone to want to try and fight me, because and then also like they know I'd dump them on their head too, and it would be bad.
Even Socrates is, I'm sure, a little different than Long Island. Long Island always had, like, especially when Phil grew up, when I was a kid, like the Guido aspect, like it's just a fighting culture. And you see now, like, should there be that many guys on a high stage in MMA out of one area, like New York, like Long Island? Think of all the guys that live on Long Island that are at a high stage in MMA.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's such a small geographic location that all these guys come out of there.
And Phil's the pioneer for Long Island.
Oh, yeah. Phil's the pioneer. A lot of people say Matt, Phil.
UFC 30, I was the first one.
That's what I'm saying. Phil was the first one. Matt didn't fight till UFC 31.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had Tito on earlier, so we were talking about some of the history, and Phil's another one of those guys. You were you and Curtis Stout that night? You were the first fight, right?
Yeah.
So Phil was in the first Zuffa fight ever. Lou Negli, I remember, hooked it up. I still talk to Lou all the time. Lou hit me up the other day, telling me, like, sent me a thing like that listed all the people that he's gotten to the UFC.
Yeah, Lou's a good guy.
Oh, yeah,
Longo guys good. All those New York guys are good guys.
Oh, yeah, Lou's another legend in the game. Ring of Combat. He's always helping with the UFC, Bellator, all that. So now, are you done with MMA, or are you going to do any more MMA?
We'll see. Who knows? I'm just worried about this fight.
Oh, yeah, so what else is going on with you? Other than training, what do you do in your spare time now? What does the New York Badass do when he's not in the gym?
Tinder.
Yes! Yes! That's where I wanted this to go!
And now where are you, in Stockton?
Yeah, Lodi, Stockton.
How are the women looking out there?
Not the all-time greatest, but I'm fucking pretty good out here,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking to one of our friends, Jared Gordon. He was saying Milwaukee's not that good.
Now, Phil, what's your line? What's on Twitter? Hey, I actually heard from a friend, one of the best, like, let's say you get a match with someone, one of the best moves you can make to get a response with, like, a hot chick is you tell them, describe yourself in 3 emojis. And whether they think you're cute or not, they've never been asked that question, so their brain starts going like, what 3 emojis would I be? And they put it down, and there you go. Now you broke the ice.
I don't think New York Badass is sending bitches emoji questions.
No, I use come over.
You get right to the point?
Hi, come over.
I love that.
Hey, right to the point. And what's your success rate with the come over?
Pretty good.
Hang on,
we go on after 10 o'clock.
I'm sure you probably got pictures of you flexing, a couple of fight photos. Girls see that, they see it right off the bat. The charisma, they're like, this guy's a fucking superstar. I got to get this guy.
Dude, one of my favorite pickup lines that my college wrestling coach ever told me was, he's like, "Hey, you want to know a pickup line?" I was like, "It's got a 50% pickup or 50% success rate." I'm like, "Yeah, I want that pickup line." He goes, "Do you want to fuck? Yes or no? 50% chance."
Yeah, that's 50-50. Even that, I remember when I was younger too, and I would talk to Phil about girls and whatever. I was
Coach, who was your coach?
John Stutzman. He's now the head coach at Buffalo University, or the University at Buffalo.
Okay.
I remember too, like when you were killing the game when you were a personal trainer back in the day. You used to get every chick you wanted at that point, right? I remember you telling me like that was a secret to getting women. Was just you told me get muscles, be in shape.
Take steroids and Viagra. And go to the gym.
Yeah. Those are all the keys to success. I remember back in the day, too, you told me a number. You were like, oh, I've been with like 300 women. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. And then you were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you start congratulating me, some of them were fat.
Hey, man, I was told, they're kind of like,
It's cold in New York in the winter and shit.
Right. Does.
Oh, yeah.
But now he's in California, so he's probably got a little thinner chicks now, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure in the 209, it's that area in California you don't have any bad weather down there, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Now, Phil, on your Tinder, right? You set the age ratio from right? You can pick like 18 to 50. What's your age gap on there?
19 to 42.
I like that.
That's a good age gap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also increases his chances.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how are you doing with the younger ones?
Good.
That's usually where I like to go. I always tell my friend, I don't go 19. I usually set my thing 21 to like 31.
Yeah, so they can drink. Come out have a drink with you.
Yeah, but then I don't really want the 26 to 31s.
I just like to look.
Yeah, I like that.
So what's going on for the rest of the day? You just swiping away today? Or you got some more training scheduled for tonight?
I'm getting in the car driving AKA right now. Last day.
Oh, today's your last day of training at AKA or last day hard sparring?
AKA.
And then what? You just going to maintain for the next couple weeks till you head out to, where'd you say, Wyoming?
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, Wyoming.
All right, so I'm excited for it. I'll definitely be watching. How can people watch this one?
I'm going to fucking go out there, throw bombs right away. As soon as the bell rings, try and get them out of there because, it's high altitude and fuck it.
Oh, yeah, and if you look at some of your best success and your highlights, that's where they came from, was you going out guns blazing. When you started stepping on the brake and trying to come up with these game plans and trying to change things up, I felt like that was always where you ran into a little bit of problems.
You're right.
You just got to come out guns blazing. Spray till there's not a shell left in your clip, and then hopefully you trained hard enough that you catch a second wind.
Thank you for your game plan, brother. I'm gonna try that one for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's what you got to do, man. That's the way the New York Badass has to go in there.
I love when fighters overthink a fight. Like, dude, just go out there and hit him. I love when people ask me, how are you going to win this fight? Well, I'm going to go out there and punch him in the face
more than he punches me.
And hopefully he can't stand up, and I win.
Try and hit him harder, hit him harder.
I like that.
All right, Phil. Well, I'm happy we finally got you on.
Thanks, bro.
Let's make this a regular thing. We want to get you and Dennis and me on all the time. We'll talk about some stories.
Yeah, I have more stories next time. I wasn't ready today, but thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, I had to. You know what it is? I put in 718 instead of 318, so I've been texting the wrong fucking guy. So then I texted Matt. I texted Matt, and Matt was like, "Oh, here, try this number." So
typical stupid Stan move.
Well, no, I have an old number of his that I tried too, but it wasn't working. So no worries, Phil. We'll get you
all right,
on.
Man. Thank you, bro.
After you knock out Leben, we'll get you back on. We appreciate you.
Yeah, Phil, I'm looking forward to having a beer with you next time I see you, brother.
Hell yeah, bro. Thanks, man.
Or 9. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, take it easy, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Phil Baroni. I want those stories. He was holding back, I feel, on some of those.
Bro, you heard the 2 or 3 that I just rattled off. I got fucking stories for days from him, so imagine the stories that he forgot,
That should be a segment, like, all right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to get in. I'll talk
Phil
to him.
Baroni's, fight of the day.
Yeah, like, let's ask the badass. He's got so many fucking stories. I remember he told me even to go to the heavyweight championship at one point. He told me he was heavyweight champion another time, too. He dropped Randy one time in practice. And he's like, I'm like, oh, you dropped Randy? He's like, yep, with a body shot. And he used to always say, nobody goes to the body like I go to the body, And it's true, You watch some of his fights. He's one of those guys who always ripped hard body shots because he's dropped Randy Couture with the body shot in training. If I drop Randy Couture with the body shot, I'm trying to body shot everybody for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
You're 7 years old.
Yeah.
I got a mean body shot. Get over here.
Whatever move works against the best in the world, that's your fucking move. That's your move. Go with it.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. Him versus Chris Leben is definitely going to be an exciding one. They're going to get at it.
There's going to be blood everywhere. That's what I kind of like about these bare-knuckle boxing matches is that the knuckles cut you, man. Bad.
Oh, yeah.
There's blood flinging.
Well, that's like we were saying last week. There's no winner in that. You could land a punch. You land a punch and you're kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like every punch in bare knuckle, like a jab, you're fucked up. Like, there's no padding, there's no nothing. So there's the way there's limited consequence or limited room for mistakes in an MMA fight or a boxing fight. There's very, very little room for a mistake in a bare knuckle boxing fight.
What do they wear? Like just a little bit of wraps?
Just hand wraps. Just so a little gauze and tape. I believe it's gauze and tape. I think that they're allowed to wrap their hands the same, like, according to athletic commission.
I've seen some pictures, man. They've like the knuckles are like almost exposed, I think.
No, that's what I'm saying. They have to wrap them the same as athletic commission guidelines.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
The 1 inch from the knuckle.
Got you. Yep.
But definitely some crazy shit. You're crazy to want to do that, but Phil's, as we can tell, Phil's a maniac. So
I would like to do bare knuckle MMA.
I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it. That would be a more realistic fight. Bare knuckle MMA. The only reason that they tape your hand and they put a glove on it is so you could throw more punches.
Well, no, the reason for the UFC glove or any MMA glove is so you don't break your hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you could throw more punches, so the fight doesn't stop after the first punch.
Yeah.
So, but let's wrap this up. I'm heading out to CES. I'm gonna watch John Gotti fight. My boy Hugh McKenna. Ryan LaFleur just texted me that he might be jumping in the car with me, so I might be getting,
Nice. Yeah, I know he's going. I would go, but I got my little guys tomorrow.
I might be getting a co-passenger for my journey. But then it sucks, because then if Ryan comes, it's like, married guy with kids, single guy who wants to gamble, and I want to swipe on my Tinder and my Bumble.
Well, hang on. Ryan LaFleur is not afraid to gamble.
Not afraid to gamble. But
hang on. One time I went, because I do not like to gamble, because I like having control of my, like, we were in AC, and it might have been for one of Hugh McKenna's fights. So he's like, we're about to head home. He's like, let's do a little gamble. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, come on, just follow me. $100. We'll get up and we'll get out of here. I'm like, all right, let's do it. He's like, just follow my moves. I was like, all right. 5 minutes goes by. He's like, man, that was quick. I'm like, dude.
And you lost or won?
Oh,
you
God.
Lost?
Oh, God. $100. He's like, that's the quickest I ever lost $100. I'm like, great. Now that I piggybacked on that, sick. Thanks, dude.
No, I gamble. $100 is like a hand. I gamble a couple $100. I put down like 300, 400, maybe 500, and I'll sit at like, 25, 50 minimum, and I just play blackjack.
No, not me, because I have $100. I'm like, I could buy a sick pair of like Nike Air Maxes, and I definitely have the Nike Air Maxes. There's no way that these will not be mine after I spend this $100. Spend $100 gambling. I mean, the whole chase is, it could be I could get 2 pairs of Air Maxes.
You know what it
was?
But
that never happens. So
I had a big win. I gamble. I'm not bad. I win a lot of the time. I actually win. I bought this computer actually. This computer I bought with blackjack winnings.
Wow.
My PlayStation 4 I bought with blackjack winnings. Like I just go on, spurts
Yeah,
sometimes.
but do you think in all of your time gambling,
have I won more? Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I only play the game that can be strategic. I play like blackjack. Okay. I'll play poker. I only play those 2 games, and I'll play like a complete strategy. I try not to break it, and just keep it. Keep it going that way. So maybe.
Maybe I'll go with you one time, and you can get me enough money to buy.
LaFleur's a good gambler. I'm sure LaFleur's won before.
Well, not on this day.
All right. Well, maybe next time. But next time we get in the casino, I'll show you what's up. I'm like the guy from The Hangover. My friend Space, I brought him one time, and I was just sitting there. He's like, "Oh, what do I do?" He never gambles, hates gambling, thinks it's the stupidest thing, says shit like you say. Saw me winning and was like, "Yo, if I give you money, will you gamble?" I was like, "No, you can sit next to me and I'll tell you how to play." And he sat next to me, won like fucking $300. So I was like, "All right, see, so, and then you just got to draw a line."
Well, I draw a line. Whenever I gamble, I'm just whatever I put down, I just want to make that back twice. So if I put down $20. If I make $40, guess what? I'm done. If I pay $100, if I play $100, if I get to $200, I'm out of there. And I never play with more than $100.
I gamble, and they say it's a good thing and a bad thing. I almost gamble. It's probably a bad thing. I gamble in the sense of what did I lose? Like am I going to play a $25 hand, or I could put 50 on here? Because if I play 25 and I win, I lost the other 25 that I could have won. Like that's the way I think of it.
Well, I'm done talking to you.
All right, we'll wrap it up. UFC 230. We didn't cover any UFC 230, but we'll cover the results of it next week. Who you picking, DC or Derek Lewis?
DC.
Weidman, Jacare.
Weidman.
Those are the only 2 fights that matter. The rest of them are all, pick'ems.
Boom, Brian.
Of course, Brian Kelleher. We're rooting for Brian Kelleher. I'm a root for Favola as well. Maybe we'll get Favola on sometime. I'm actually friends with one of his cousins. I've known his cousin since I was a
I
kid.
said I'm done talking to you.
All right, so let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Check us out, Menace and the Man. We'll start getting our social media and everything updated so you can find us on there. Dennis, tell people how they can find you if they want to.
Google.
So Google Dennis Bermudez. All right, thank you, everybody. And Tap, Nap, Snap, Menace and the Man, episode 2, over.
Well, see you later.